Yeah. Hold on a second. Are we good, guys? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Are we good? How does this sound and look? Are we still lagging? It looks a little bit laggy still. I'm on the phone with my buddy right now, who's also in IT. Says we're good, looking good. We are lifted. We have liftoff. Looking good. Everybody, we're good? It's laggy. He says slightly laggy, but you know what? I think this is as best as we're going to get, guys. We might have to put up with this. Yeah, I mean, it's the best is what we got. I think I need to check into some of the my webcam's graphics and stuff. You guys just hang tight. I'll be right here. Just let me hang out with my buddy and we'll get on to this. But yeah, I think I need to check into my graphics card on this laptop. That could probably be what it is, because it's only with this laptop that I'm having this, or with this webcam that I'm having this issue. Well, that might be too. Might need a new laptop, or better laptop with a better graphics card. So. Yeah, probably so. All right. All right, buddy. Take it easy. All right, everybody. Enough of this IT malarkey. We're just going to roll with it. I did everything I could. I've rebooted my router, rebooted my laptop. I may just need to get a machine and just custom build a machine for this specific purpose, because all this lagging and everything is definitely not ideal. But anyways, thank you guys for sticking around. Let me just acknowledge everybody: Matt Petrie, Maria Fury, Travis, One-Eyed Heathen, aka Alfred. I see you there. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for sticking around. Connor says audio's good. Video is going to be what it is, folks. I guess this is just the best is what we got. So sorry in advance if it is not, if you're not happy with it. It just is what it is. I'm operating on a Dell, or an HP Latitude. Is it an HP? What the heck is this thing? Yeah, it's a Dell Latitude 3330. Picked it up for $80. Yeah, it was used, but barely used. I don't think that the graphics for this HD webcam that I'm using is working best for the guts inside of this machine. But anyway, enough IT talk. Let's get into today's live stream. So I've got a few things I need to pull up here, including we're going to have a Norse mythology trivia night. As I mentioned before, there was we just got 3,000 subscribers on this channel. So as a sort of, celebration, we're going to do a giveaway. I'm going to show you guys what we got to give away here in just a minute. Let me find the information that I have to put together here. But in the meantime, while we're waiting, you guys that are all still here, there's my document. There's my document. Good to see you again. Anyways, throughout the live stream, as I usually do, you'll be seeing some information on my Linktree and PayPal. If you go to the Linktree, it's a one-stop shop. Everything is there. Twitter, Patreon, my merchandise, Facebook, buy me a coffee. My PayPal is all that. If you want to donate to the channel, you can do so through PayPal. You can also donate through Super Chat, which is really convenient. YouTube does take a huge cut. Oh boy. Just in time, Dusty Sizemore. Can't remember Jotun names as well. Feed your cat at 10. Okay, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen from all over the world. 12 live viewers. Thank you all again for tuning in tonight. So here's what are going to be the giveaway items, and it's all going to be on Norse mythology. I've got about 20 questions lined up, and I'm going to keep track of everyone's. Thank you. Wow, Maria Fury, all the way from New Zealand. Thank you so much for the Super Chat donation. You are So kind and generous. The video is probably lagging, everybody. That is for 100% due to this HD webcam not liking the internal stuff going on with my laptop. But we're just going to roll with it. But thank you, Maria Fury, for that kind super chat donation. Really appreciate your support through Patreon, through coming out here and watching the live streams all the way from New Zealand. Means a lot. So here's the deal. We're going to do a trivia thing. I'm going to log your answers. The first person to answer the questions correctly is going to earn a point. And we're going to go through. And at the end of it all, the person with the highest points, the highest number of points, is going to win these two items. So the first item is, hopefully you guys will be able to see it. This is the first item that's going to show it up here in case the thing is lagging, which it sure is. Cert is. It is very laggy. Normally it's not this bad, but this is the item number one that you will be winning. It's a Mjolnir pendant. It's pretty thick here. It's on just a string, so if you got another chain or something you want to put it on, it's just kind of like on a cord necklace. If you have a chain or something you want to put it on, this is item number one. There we go. That looked a whole lot better. It actually like focused in on it. So this is item number one in the giveaway that you're going to win. And item number two is a bag of runes. Cool. You collect Mjolnir pendants, but here are just a very simple, basic, one of the very first rune sets I ever crafted. They're all the same size and they're all made out of the same wood. I think it's just basswood. Wow, Travis, awesome, man, dude. Thank you so much for the generous super chat donation from Travis in Michigan, Maria in New Zealand. You folks are truly, truly very kind and really appreciate the generosity. I'm just going to show you guys. They're all the same shape, size, color. Hopefully this will focus. They're the same rectangular shape and size. I think it's all just stained basswood that they're made out of. Nothing like, you know, hand retrieved from a tree or anything in the anything in the yard. But it's a free rune set if you win the trivia based off of your knowledge of Norse mythology. So it's going to come to you in this cloth bag, right? It's all 24 elder rune sets. I don't include a blank rune, never have, never will. So a rune set and a Mjolnir pendant are up for grabs in as the prize for the giveaway tonight. The prize winnings, the winnings will be able to go to anybody, anywhere in the world. I am not limiting this giveaway to domestic U.S. So if you win, doesn't matter if you're like Maria in New Zealand or Travis up in Michigan or Connor out in Ireland, if I remember correctly. So good luck to everybody who is about to get involved here. We got 13 live viewers, and I'm going to keep track as best I can in the live stream with, you know, the lag and whatever. But the live stream is coming in nice and accurately. Excuse me, my apologies. So it shouldn't be a problem. You guys can hear me good. Put your thinking caps on. Okay. Here we go. Where's my... All right, folks. Now these are going to be, I think, relatively easy. They may have some tricky ones in there, but it's all based on Norse mythology. So, question number one. What is the name? Sorry, what was the emptiness in the Norse creation myth? What was the emptiness in the beginning called? First correct answer gets 1 point. What was the emptiness in the beginning called? Worth 1 point in our... Okay, Alfred, One-Eyed Heathen. First answer, Gnungagap. followed by Connor and Dusty, who are also correct. So yes, that is the correct answer, is Gunungagat. Alfred, or One-Eyed Heathen, is the first one to answer that correctly. So I am marking it down here as 1 point for Alfred, One-Eyed Heathen. Okay, next question. Congratulations, Alfred, on that. Next question. How many worlds does Yggdrasil support? How many worlds does Yggdrasil support? You got 20 questions total. It's anybody's game at this point. How many worlds does Yggdrasil support? Oh, 9 is the correct answer. Dusty Sizemore was the first one to answer, followed closely behind by One-Eyed Heathen, to Alfred Lightning. So we will get Dusty Sizemore 1 point. So congratulations, Dusty. You guys are quick, but you gotta be quicker than that. Right now, it's tied up with Alfred and Dusty. Again, the prize up for grabs. Basswood sealed Elder rune set and a handsome Mjolnir pendant. All right. Onward and upward, folks. Question number 3. This is multiple choice, so pay attention. Which of these is not one of Loki's offspring? Is it Jormungandr, Gleipnir, Sleipnir, or Fenrir? Which one of those is not one of Loki's offspring? Sleipnir, Fenrir, Jormungandr, or Gleipnir? Yes, Dusty Sidemore says B. So A, B, and C. So A was Jormungandr, B was Gleipnir, C was Sleipnir, and C, A, B, C, D was Fenrir. Dusty Sizemore did get B correct, followed by Connor, Devin, and Alfred again. Gleipnir is not one of Loki's offspring. Now, this doesn't count as part of the answer, so congratulations, Dusty. But does anybody know what Gleipnir is? What the name of Gleipnir? What is that? Bonus point, but it doesn't count towards the overall score of the trivia question. So far we've got Dusty with 2 points, Alfred with 1. You didn't know you could just say the letter? Okay. So that's fair. That's fair. It is, I mean, A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would have accepted either, or the name. So let's say going forward, just so that way everybody's clear, for the sake of the trivia game, if it is multiple choice, I will say answer A, answer B, answer C, answer D. And I will accept A or the name of whatever the answer is as a correct answer. One of the chains used to Fenrir, Devin Rose, Gleipnir. You sure about that? Yeah. Good game. Good job, everybody. So question number 4. So this is going to be also multiple. You got some choices to choose from here. So we're going to do A, B, C, and D again. What is the name of Thor's hammer, and who stole it? Is the correct answer A, Mjolnir and Odin? B, Heidrun and Loki? C, Heidrun and Odin? Or D, Mjolnir and Thrym? What is the name of Thor's hammer, and who stole it? I will accept the correct letter associated for the sake of speed, because you'll probably be able to get the answer correctly quicker with C. Man, Dusty, right there again. Number D, followed by Connor, who said 4. That's fine too. Kellen says D. Zach says D. D. Yep, it is D. The name of Thor's hammer is Mjolnir, and the one who stole it is Thrym. Another bonus question, which doesn't count for the overall score. What is the name of the poetic Edda poem in which Thor's hammer was stolen? Does anybody know what the name of the poem is? So right now we are Dusty with 3 points, Alfred with 1. Got some catching up to do, folks. Got to be quick. Got to be quick on the uptake. Connor, you're almost there, man. Just a little bit quicker. I have confidence in you. So the name of the poem in which Thor's hammer was stolen, there's a hint in the answer that you that most of you just got correctly. The Lay of Thrym, yes, also called Thrymskvida. So yes, good job, one-eyed heathen, Mr. Alfred. All right, folks. On to question number 5 out of 20. Name. Okay, so this is going to be also a. I'm going to give you 4 options. I will accept a or a number, the letter or the number corresponding to the correct answer. Okay. Name Odin's brothers. Are they A, Thor and Loki, B, Bor and Bestla, C, Ve and Vili, or D, Osk and Embla? Name Odin's brothers. Correct answer, please. I don't know what's going on here. Dusty's quick, man. So C is the correct answer. It is Ve and Vili. They are the brothers of Odin. Dusty did get the correct answer off of the rip. Followed again in second place by Connor. Zach with also a correct answer. Devin with the correct answer. So congratulations. We will go ahead and add a point for Dusty. Doing really good. Everyone's doing really good. All right, so let's go on to number 6. Multiple choice, not multiple choice, but I'm going to give you options. So again, A or the number, the letter or the number corresponding to the correct answer is an acceptable response. I think we all know that by now. So question number 6. Who is Thor? Is he A, god of misery, B, god of wind, C, god of anguish, or D, god of thunder? Please submit your answers now. And there we go with Dusty again. Connor, D. Bjornhammer, hello, D. Connor, yep. D. He is most assuredly associated with thunder and lightning. And out of all of those answers, which everybody did get correct, Dusty was number 1. You guys are seeing it. You guys know I'm not, I am not rigging this game at all. So that makes it 5-1 in Dusty's favor. We are 6 questions down, 14 to go. Sorry, 14 to go. All right. Yeah, it is. It's like that's a game of like beating Dusty, right? All right, cool. So everybody check out before we go further. Second place. Second place had Matthew Petrie over here in the live chat. Thank you, Matthew. Says he has a prize for second place. So whoever comes in second, you got a prize coming for you as well. First place is going to obviously win the rune set and this Mjolnir necklace. Swear you were the first that time. I'm going back up through. You were like right beneath him, man. You were right beneath him. But his name is showing up first in the chat over mine. So let's keep on going. So all right. Question number 7. Got some options for you to choose from here. Who are Hugin and Munin? Are they A, the prophets of Asgard, B, well-known wolves, C, Loki's parents, or D, Odin's memory and thought ravens? Who are Hugin and Munin? Cast your answers in now. Haha! Okay, we got Vilhjalmur, who answered one ahead of Dusty, believe it or not. You beat Dusty this time. How about that? How about them apples? So we've got a new player on the board. New player has entered the field. Bingo. So let's go ahead and add him to the Vilhjalmur onto the board with 1 point so far. So we've got Dusty in first place right now at 5 points, with Alfred and Vilhjalmur with 1 point each, tying in second place. And yep, always getting there is Ravens. Oh, actually, hold on. Connor, I just saw your thing. You actually said his Ravens. You actually said his Ravens above Vilhjalmur. So correction, recall the vote. I'm looking right at it right now. Glad we double checked. Connor actually gets this point. Vilhjalmur was right beneath him there. You did get ahead of him. So you said his Ravens, which is correct. So you know, any of the responses, whichever makes you answer quicker. If you want to say the number, the letter, the whatever it is, Connor did get this one, so Connor gets the point. So Connor does get 1 point, tied up with Alfred this time. Fair is fair. So I'll definitely keep a close watch on this. All right, good job, everybody. Next question, number 8. Multiple. You got some options here. So, who is Loki? Is he A, a deity of light, B, a god of elves, C, a god of mischief, fire, and chaos, or D, a deity of the damned? Connor. Ooh, Connor's getting quick. It's like he had that number right, or that answer right in the queue. Connor's response is God of Mischief, spelled it out, followed by Dusty, then Zach. Yes. So C is the correct answer, but Connor did answer it correctly with God of Mischief. So we will go ahead and allocate that point for Connor. Connor in second place now, followed by Alfred right behind. So good job, Connor. Getting quicker, man. Getting quicker. Well done. Yep, with the written answer. It's almost like that's quicker form. It's pretty crazy. Had it ready. It's like you're in my head, thinking ahead. Okay. So great job on that. Next question. We are almost halfway through. So here we go. Multiple choices. What are the mortal and godly worlds called, respectively? Are they A, Midgard and Bifrost, B, Gleipnir and Sleipnir, C, Asgard and Bifrost, or D, Midgard and Asgard? What are the mortal and godly worlds or realms called, respectively? Okay, so the first response on this one looks like Midgard Asgard was Dusty. That was the first response on that. I had to scroll up a little bit. Thank you, Matt. Says got a lot done on my Thor. That's awesome. So it looks like we've got Dusty in first place with 6, Connor with 2, and Alfred with 1. So we are 9 questions in, about to do the 10th one. What is Midgard? Oh. We got a technicality coming in now. You got a technicality coming in. All right, guys, what do you think? I'm going to put this out to the people's vote because I know what he meant, right? He missed the D in the word Midgard. So Midgard is not a realm, but I know what he means. Followed by Vjalharmer's answer, who spelled it out Midgard, Asgard. I'll tell you what. We might have a tiebreaker, or we might have a bonus question at the end because I don't know how to rule on that. Fair is fair, right? You misspelled it. That's technically not the right answer, although I know what you meant. So I think in most trivia games, I think in most trivia rules, if you say the name of something wrong, that does not count as the correct answer. So we're going to go ahead and give it to Vjalhammer, right? Because he actually did spell it correctly. Almost got it there, Dusty, but that's all right. Good sportsmanship. Let's go ahead and give that point to Vjalhammer, right? Okay. So he was next in line, which actually puts him on the table, or puts him on the board, right? Wait a second. Where did I miss? Okay, so Alfred says I already took your misspelled answer. Anybody know which one it was? Let's see here. I want to be fair. So if I missed something, if I didn't catch something, then all's fair, right? We should all play by the same rules. Ginnungagap. Oh, so we all spelled Ginnungagap wrong. Huh. Let me go up real quick. I'm going to refer to the actual thing. So there it is. Ginnungagap. The correct spelling is Ginnungagap. So who got that one right? Ginnungagap. Actually, Connor got that right. Connor spelled it right. Looking at it. So Connor, if we follow the rules of engagement for trivia, right? The spelling is everything. Connor actually got that one right. So what do we do? Do we go on and do we say, technicalities overrule the thing, or Well, Alfred, you called it out. So an incorrect spelling is an incorrect answer. That's. I guess I really should have outlined some rules on this. This is my first time actually running a trivia, right? And now I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? That's how the trivia games run. Let's see here. Does Jeopardy count misspelling? I feel like that's the gold standard. I don't know, but I have watched a what's it called? It's like there's a new game show out that I've watched a few times, and it's actual like trivia. It's a who's the mastermind or something like that, and I've seen people lose on that show because they misspelled the name or they said it wrong. They verbalized it wrong. They didn't pronounce it correctly, and that lost them the point. Lightning round for 3 points between Connor and Dusty. I like that. I like that. That's why I said, guys, you can use the number that correlates or the letter that correlates to the answer. So if like A was Gunungagap, A would have been the correct answer. If you misspell it or if you mispronounce it or something like that, that could cost you the point. I'm accepting letter, number, or actual answer to it. Afterwards, spelling don't count. I'm not going to be that guy, right? I'm not going to be that guy. I was like, well, you got to spell it right, otherwise it doesn't count. Like, we're all here just having fun, right? We're all here. I got some stuff I want to give away. These runes, this hammer that is really handsome. It's all just for fun. So as it stands right now, let me just look at the points and see. We've got Dusty with 5 points, Connor with 2, if you don't count the misspelling, Alfred with 1, and Vilhjalmur with 1. Vilhjalmur with 1. So you got first, second, third place going on right now, which means Vilhjalmur and Alfred are tied for third. Connor's in second. Dusty's in 1. So if we're good to go with that, we'll just say that going forward, we're not going to get nitpicky about spelling. I will accept the correct answer, whether it's letter, number, or spelled out to the best of your ability. But again, if you get out there and you're trying to spell something, that could totally cost you your answer because everybody else is just hitting that one key to get in there. So I would say that let's just stick to letters or numbers that correlate to the answer. Does that sound good? Does that sound fair for everybody? I hope so, because I want to get through this and I want to give everybody a fair shot. All right, halfway through the trivia. Let's move on to the Valkyries, or as they are called in Old Norse, Valkyria. Out of these 4 responses, who were or are the Valkyria? Are they A, supreme goddesses, B, something that I made up, C, wolves of battle, or D, warrior maidens? Who are the Valkyries? Who are the Valkyria? Connor, you were thinking a little bit too far ahead. Well, you were thinking ahead, but you were trying to get the answer in before the question came through all the way. So D is the correct answer. Warrior maidens. So congratulations, Dusty. Looks like you were the correct response, followed by Alfred. Joshua Smith. Joshua Smith here in the live chat. Joshua, I'm actually using the webcam that you sent. So it was giving me some fits earlier. I don't know how it's going on right now for you guys. It looks okay on my end, but I was having some technical issues earlier with lag, and things. Looks great to me, and it's working. I just think the issue that I was having was with might be the graphics card or something on my laptop. I probably need to get a better actual machine to stream from. So congratulations, Dusty, who answered it correctly. Correct answer is D. So that puts Dusty at 6 points. 6, 3 is 9, and that is 11. So we've got, we got more questions to go. Let's keep on going. I'm bad at math right now while I'm trying to multitask and do all these things. So if we've got 10 more questions to go, and 11 points allocated. Dusty's at 6. Who could technically? It's almost anybody's game. Dusty could lose an internet connection right now and be totally out of it, and then Connor could get a boost of internet speed and get things way ahead of everybody else. And then who knows? There could be some total underdog that just comes in here and just kills it the rest of 11 rounds. So let's keep track of things. And then as we get closer, if we realize that we are vastly apart with the numbers, we may do a bonus round between the first and second place scorers on this trivia night. So thanks again, everybody, for joining tonight's live stream and playing some Norse trivia to win some cool prizes. I got a basswood rune set. I got this Mjolnir hammer to give away. All of these things are going to winner number who comes in first place. So let's go on to number 11. Question number 11. So we got 4 different options here. Only one correct answer. What are the Valkyria most commonly associated with? Is the correct answer A, ravens, B, otters, C, wolves, or D, serpents? What do you think they are most commonly related to? Second place, Connor, is going to be something from Matt Petrie at Odin's Beard Woodworking. Don't know exactly what that is. Dusty says D. Connor says C. Devin says C. One-Eyed Raven says A. And A is the correct answer. Ravens are what the Valkyries tend to be most closely associated with out of those 4 responses. So Alfred, One-Eyed Heathen, got that one. He was the first correct response. You slipped. Sure you did, Dusty. Sure you did. Matt's got a rune necklace for the second place winner. All right, so let's go ahead and mark that point for Alfred, who is now up to 2 points. Tied for second place with Connor. It's going to be a close one, I think. So congratulations there. Yeah, Death and Ravens, right? So good. I saw Rambling Rattlesnake. I didn't say hi to you earlier, but I saw you answered it correctly. So good job there. There you go. All right. Next on the list, who is the leader? This is, again, going to be 4 choices to choose from. So pay attention, listen close. Who is the leader of the Valkyries or Valkyria? Is it A, Gun, B, Skuld, C, Rota, or D, Freya? Who is the leader of the Valkyria? Hope you guys are having fun, guys and gals, ladies and gentlemen all over the world. Connor says C. Alfred says D. Dusty says D. Connor says D. So D is the correct answer. Freya in the lore is attested to as being the queen of the Valkyries and is considered to be associated with war and death herself as a warrior goddess. So yes, the correct answer is D. And Alfred Lightning, One-Eyed Heathen, is the first correct response to that. Oh man, Connor, I'm so sorry. Hit the wrong button. Yeah. Unfortunately, though, D is the right answer, and it did get ahead of you in that timing. So congratulations, Alfred, who is jumping into the second place spot right now. But it is still anybody's game for second place, guys. Right? It is still anybody's game for that rune necklace from Matt. Right now, Dusty is still in the lead with, it looks like, I think 6 points. Alfred is now in second, and Connor is in third place. So it is getting very close, and we have got how many questions left? We've got 7 questions left. This one as I told you before, there's going to be some ones that really challenge you. And this is one of them. Got options to choose from. Choose carefully. How many doors are there in Valhalla? Is the correct answer A, 6,000, B, 540, C, 841, or D, 2? Hey, Brad, welcome back to the live stream. Yes, forget about her Hall Folk Wagner. Let's see. Okay, Dusty says B. B is the correct answer. There are 540 doors spoken about in the Poetic Edda that that describe the doors in Valhalla. So congratulations, Dusty, on the correct answer there. Followed by Connor, Alfred, Brad, who said C. Unfortunately, that is incorrect. The number of doors in Valhalla is 540. So congratulations, Dusty. Go ahead and add your points here. Still maintaining #1 lead. So at this point, we have 4 questions left. If Alfred gets all 4 questions correct, he could tie in for first place with Dusty. So the game is almost anybody's game. But at this point, Dusty is holding the lead strong at 7 points, followed by One-Eyed Heathen, Alfred Lightning with 3, and then Connor with 2. So good luck for the rest of the rounds. All right, next question. What, you got 4 options to choose from. What gives off light in the Hall of Valhalla? Is it A, treasure, B, goblets of mead, C, arrows, or D, swords? What gives off light in Valhalla? What gives off light in Valhalla? This is a tricky one. So whoever's quickest at Google searches could definitely get this one. The correct answer is D, swords. And it looks like, looks like Dusty Sizemore was the first correct answer, followed by Connor. So Dusty is now 8, and that pretty much is going to seal the deal for first place. Even if Alfred did get every single question left in the trivia, that still would not be enough to tie for first place. So here's the deal. I'm going to take Dusty out of the game for the next remaining rounds. What we're going to do is we're going to see if we can get anybody else besides Dusty to make up the last 4 rounds. So we got so for what do we got? Yeah, 5 rounds. Excuse me, 5. So let me just do my math again real quick. No, Alfred could still. We got. Let me see. Let me do my math real quick. I don't want to misrepresent this. We got Dusty with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, actually, I think I'm miscounting. So 7, 10, 12, 13. Yeah, Dusty's got 8. But we got, how many more we got here? We got 5 more questions to go. Let me just count them real quick here. 1. No, we don't. Do we? Yes. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we've got 6 questions left to go. So it could still be if Alfred got every question right the next time, he could actually win this, because he's got 3. I got 21 questions total. I thought I had 20. We got 21 questions total. So everything that I just said about leaving Dusty out of it, not yet. All right. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 questions left. And if Alfred gets them all correct, he could technically win the trivia game. Okay. So again, just to reiterate, we've got 6 questions left. If Dusty gets this one correct next, then we will remove him from the game and let Connor and Alfred duke it out for second place. Okay? So the next question that will determine whether or not Dusty moves on is, says you need to fix your drink. You don't got time to fix your drink. You have a title to defend. You got a, good to see you, Josh. We've got a, you've got a, some prizes here that you could be winning. If you let Alfred run away with it, that drink could cost you. So here we go. This is only one. There was only one right answer, and I'm not going to reveal. I'm not going to give you options here. Okay. So this is where it gets. This is where the men separate from the boys. The real deal kind of comes through here. Okay. The correct answer for this is only going to be one thing. And you only got one correct right answer. I'm not going to give you options to choose from. This is pulled by the steed, Skin Foxy. So Skin Foxy, the steed, pulls this. What is this? What does Skin Foxy pull? What does Skin Foxy, the steed, pull? Hey, John Watkins, we are hot and heavy in our Norse trivia game right now, wrapping it up here. It's been really fun. Yeah, Dusty says the sun, also says soul. The sun is the correct answer. So therefore, Dusty does win first place. So Dusty going forward, we've got, you know, what do we got here? 4 more trivia questions to go. 1, 2. We got 5 more trivia questions, but Dusty's got 9 points, which means even if Alfred with 3 points won every single correct answer going forward, he still would not beat Dusty. So congratulations, Dusty Sizemore, for winning a rune set, Basswood rune set, and this Thor's Hammer Mjolnir pendant. Really well done. So here's what's going to happen now with the remaining 5 answers of this game. Dusty, you are no longer allowed to answer the questions. So congratulations on winning. But here's what we're going to do. Everybody else is up to play, but second place, the second place prize is going to be a rune necklace from Matthew Petrie over at Odin's Beard Woodworking. Okay. So second place right now is Alfred with 3 points and Connor with 2. So this is the battle for second place and a rune necklace that has been hand carved by Matt at Odin's Beard Woodworking. Okay, so we got 5 questions left to go. Let's see who gets him. Let's see who gets him. So good luck to everybody, and let's see what happens here. Hey, Patrick Walsh, welcome back. Genuinely needed that Mjolnir. Don't worry about it, man. We'll probably be doing more of these sorts of things over time as the channel's growing and as we do more fun stuff like this. I definitely want to do more things like this, so don't be discouraged. There may be more opportunities here, so really well played. Let's go ahead and move on to the questions. All right, so for second place, your first question is only one correct answer. This fruit is eaten by the gods to keep them young. What fruit is eaten by the gods to keep them young? First correct answer gets the point. What fruit is eaten? Oh, wow. Okay. Hey, Brad. Brad says apples, which is correct. So Brad, who has not yet played this game is now on the board, who hasn't had an answer in the game yet as the first one. So congratulations, Brad. Let me go ahead and add your point up here on the board. So now we've got Alfred with 3 points, Connor with 2, and Vilhjalmur and Brad with a point each. We got 4 points left to go. So if either one of you, Brad and Vilhjalmur, get the rest of these correct, you could steal second place from Alfred and take that opportunity away from him and Connor to duel out for second place. So congratulations, Brad, on that. Thank you, Matt. That's really nice of you. Matt just said that if Connor does end up with second place, he's got a hand-carved Mjolnir coming his way. So congratulations to the winner of that item or whatever item it is. So Connor, you still got a chance, my man. There are 1, 2, 3. We got 4 questions left, so you could. It's definitely still attainable. All right. Which poem? And I'm only going to accept one correct answer. I'm not going to give you options here. We're fighting for the prize. Which poem in the Poetic Edda does Odin reveal many of his names that he is known by? Which poem in the Poetic Edda does Odin reveal many names that he is known by? First person to answer correctly. I'm not worried about spelling. Right. Alfred says the Homo. That answer is incorrect. Connor says he doesn't know or hasn't read it yet. Okay. Still have time to answer the question. The name of the poem in the Poetic Edda in which Odin reveals his many names. Could be anybody right now. Interesting one. Brad says Volospa. That is incorrect. Good guesses. Good guesses. Keeping it interesting up here. Definitely keeping it interesting. Patrick Walsh, Grimnismal. Yeah, it is correct. Patrick's on the board with 1 point. All right. So yes, Grimnismal is the name of the poem in the Poetic Edda. And in that poem, Odin reveals many of his names, many of his titles, many of the things that he is known by. So we have got tying for or vying for the second place prize of a hand-carved Mjolnir. Alfred and Connor. Alfred's in the lead right now for second place with 3 points. Connor with 2 points. Vilhjalmur, Brad, and Patrick with a point each. We have just 2 questions left. So at this point, anybody with 1 point, if they answer each of these questions correctly, will be tied with Alfred, and then we'll need to go into some sort of like lightning round. Connor could also steal. If Alfred gets the next question correct, he will definitely win the prize with 4 points. So, good luck to everybody. Anybody here right now that's playing for second place that has a point on the board could technically get second place. All right, so I'm going to give you the name of a figure in mythology, and I want you to tell me who or what this figure is, okay? This is for second place. Could be anybody. The name of this figure in Norse mythology is Seirimnir. Seirimnir. And if you'd like, I will put it in chat so that way you all can see it, just in case you're not sure of spelling or pronunciation or whatever. Seirimnir. Somebody tell me correct answer of who or what this figure is in Norse mythology. So, Seirimnir. Who or what is Seirimnir in Norse mythology? Brad is asking, or Connor says Jotun. No, it is not Jotun. Brad says is a giant who built the wall. Also no. Dusty does not know. Brad, no. So it is not a Jotun of any sort. No building of walls around Valhalla for this figure. This is a good one. I can feel all of the search engines being fired up right now across the world, searching for what this figure's significance is to Norse mythology. Who's gonna get it? Who's gonna get it? This one and only one more remain as far as the answers go. Woohoo! Okay. Brad says boar. That is correct. Seirimnir is the boar. That is the eternal source of meat in Valhalla, right? Widely unknown, maybe not so popular in the stories and in the lore so much as, you know, some of the others, but definitely has a name and definitely has a significance to the lore. So yes, that is the correct answer, Brad. All right, guys. So here's the deal. Brad just got a point, and there is only one correct answer left, which means that if Brad or Connor get the next question correct, they will tie for second place with Alfred. If nobody of those two get the answer correct, then Alfred wins second place. So we could still be playing if we get a tie for second place, because Alfred's got 3 points, Connor has 2, Brad has 2. If either one of you, Brad or Connor, get this next answer correctly, then you could tie for second place, and then we got to go into some sort of bonus lightning round to see who's going to win it. And if nobody of those two gets it, Alfred wins. All right, so you all ready? Are you ready? All right, guys, gals, ladies and gentlemen, for second place prize of a wood carved piece from Matthew Petrie at Odinsbeard Woodworking. The final question of the night in our Norse mythology trivia is, again, I only need one correct answer here. I'm not going to give you multiple choices. I'm not going to give you options to choose from. I need the correct answer. In which poetic Edda poem do we learn about the 3 societal classes of mankind? The 3 classes of mankind, the 3 societal classes of mankind. In which poetic Edda poem do we learn about the 3 classes of man? For second place. Who do we have? Patrick says, nice corn quote. Yeah. Are you ready? You got it. Let's see here. Dusty, you've already won. All right, Brad says Veluspa, which is incorrect, I'm afraid. It is incorrect. You still have an opportunity to get it correct, but Veluspa is not the correct answer. Ho, 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 ho. Brad said Rigstula, and that is the correct answer. That is the correct answer, Brad. Followed by Alfred, who said something about that would sound like ring something or another, which I don't know what that is. But yeah, so Brad got it correct, which guess what that means? That means that now Alfred and Brad are tied for second place. I never thought that this trivia game would get to be so, oh, what's the word? Like I'm sitting on the edge of my seat waiting to see who's gonna win this one, right? This is amazing. So, Brad and Alfred, the tiebreaker. Excuse me. The tiebreaker for this one is going to be the it's going to have to do with the answer that you just provided. It's going to have to do with Riksdula. Okay. What's up, Troy Hartman? Hail and welcome. All right. So, Alfred, Brad, need you guys to be ready to answer. I need to know which classes of mankind are mentioned in Riksdula. Okay, I need to know which of the three classes of mankind were identified or mentioned about in Riksdula. I don't need Old Norse words. I don't need, exact literary words, but I need to know the three different societal classes of mankind in Riksdula in order for a winner to be decided. Thrall, Carl, and Jarl. So yes, slave, peasant, king. Wow, you got it, man. Congratulations, one-eyed heathen, Mr. Alfred Lightning, got it. So everybody give a big round of applause. If I had the little, confetti thing to blow and some audience applause in the background and a huge, flashing lights like Steve Harvey's got in Family Feud or whatever, we would be shooting all kinds of stuff off. So congratulations, Alfred, for winning second place. If Matthew Petrie is not in the live stream, he might still be. I'm sure he will get in touch with you, or you can get in touch with him through Odin's Beard Woodworking on Facebook. So if I don't see him comment, then I will make sure that you know where to find him. But yes, congratulations. And Dusty, let's just say everybody, congratulations, first of all, to everybody. And thank you for everybody who participated in the live stream tonight. I'm sorry, Connor, that victory seemed to elude you tonight, but don't be discouraged. There will be other times and there will be other things. Everybody, I had a great time doing this tonight. We're going to keep the live stream going for just a bit more, maybe do some, reading from the Lord. I've got a little bit of some of my favorite scotch left just to be sipping on as I got here tonight. So yeah, this is awesome. I had a really good time. So congratulations, everybody. Really had fun doing this. Dusty, I will be in touch with you for addresses to send these items to, or for an address rather to send these items to. I might even still have it because for some reason I think we've exchanged that information before. But congratulations to Dusty Sizemore for the first place prize of this handsome Mjolnir and this I think it's just basswood, rune set. So may the runes serve you well as you learn them and as you get into studying some things. Where is it gonna? Thought it was going to kind of, there it goes. Focus is on me. It does that sometimes. It's pretty cool. Nice focus on the rune. So yeah, congratulations. Here's Dagas. Boom. So I hope everybody had fun here. If you need to get up, stretch your legs, get a bathroom break in, whatever it is you need to do. But we will do this again sometime soon, I think. Maybe not exactly the same with all the trivia questions, but or we may do something totally different, some new trivia, some really what's the word I'm looking for? Some really far stretch stuff, some things you're really going to need to know your stuff about. This was fun though. I had a really good time. Yeah. Cool. So Matt's here. What's up, Dingo? Dingo, my brother. Good to see you. Yeah. All Father, hail Thor, hail Freya, everybody, hell, everybody. So do me a favor, guys, if you haven't yet already, I'm sure you have because you're all here hanging out with me. Make sure that you have subscribed to the channel, first of all. Make sure you ding the bell notifications. I do want to say that has everybody been watching or actually ask, I didn't not so much say, but I do want to ask, has everybody been following the Hovamol readings that I do a few days a week here for about the last week, almost 2 weeks now? I wasn't able to do one today. I do owe everybody a third video, which I'll probably shoot sometime tomorrow, to be honest. But Fridays are especially busy for me. I'm training new agents where I work. Oh wow, Troy Hartman, thank you so much for your super chat donation, my dude. Really appreciate that, coming in here and supporting the channel in that way. For everybody else that wants to do it, please feel free to do so. I'll also have my Linktree link, which has all of the ways that you can support Midgard Musings through following me on Twitter, going to liking the Facebook page, buying merchandise on Teesprings. If you like rune set, actually a hand burned birch rune set, I do those as well. But check out the Linktree that I just posted, and if you want to donate directly to the channel without the YouTube super chat feature, you can do that also through PayPal. So all that stuff is in the live chat discussion. Sending more your way, brothers and gurus, and yes, every chance you get. So really appreciate it, Patrick. It's great to see you here. I don't see you so much online these days, but we're all really busy. And like I said before, Fridays tend to be quite busy for me. So I'm trying to do the Hovamol reading videos on Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, but Fridays tend to run away from me. So it'll probably, the cadence may change a bit in terms of when those videos go out. But what do you guys think? You guys enjoying them? Think I should keep doing them? Devin says, watched all of them so far. Ironically, Stanza 15 was uploaded the same day I reached it near daily Hovamol readings. Well, that's pretty cool, and the timing of that is definitely not planned. So glad to see that it's getting into some people's eyes and ears and being shared around. So that's great. Yeah, I know your situation, brother, and that's okay. I'm here for you, man. Distance and opportunity and time, you make reasons or excuses, or as far as things like why we can't be where we are, where we want to be, visiting each other. But we'll see each other soon. We'll definitely hang out, and I got a vinyl I want you to listen to, and some new scotch I want to taste with you. So we'll make it happen. Great, pick you up in hard times. Glad to hear that, Patrick. Just starting to get into the Hovamol series, and been watching Rune. Oh, cool. Ravens Call with Eric. Yes, awesome. Glad to see. I remember you now, Stephen. I remember your reaching out through, I think it was Facebook, perhaps. You might have sent a message. So I'm glad to see that you found your way over to Eric's channel and what he does. A tremendous amount of knowledge and information stored on Eric's channel. I've actually collaborated with him a couple of times already. We did like a Ostra kind of collaboration video last year, and then this year we've done 2 sort of like interview style call. Well, it was more like it was over Zoom, right? And we recorded the Zoom call and put it up on YouTube, and that was a lot of fun. Talked about some really cool things. Oh, hey, One-Eyed Heathen, dude, thank you. Man, that's very kind, Alfred. I appreciate the super chat donation. I'm glad to be there for folks to whatever capacity that translates to, whether it be an ear to talk to or an ear to listen to or a voice to talk to, or whatever the case may be. I'm very glad and honored to be in a position to do stuff like this and interact with you folks. It's really fun, and I'm glad to be able to do this with you all. So thank you so much for your generosity, Alfred Lightning, Mr. One-Eyed Heathen over here. But one thing I do also want to let everybody know about some upcoming content that is being planned and in the works for me right now here on the channel. not going to call it a collaboration because it's really not a collaboration. It's going to be more along the style of interview, of an interview. But let me just say that the subjects that I am interviewing, I think you guys are going to love it. I really think you guys are going to love it. So all of the logistics have yet to be, ironed out. But I've already got the green light that it's something of interest to do by these subjects in mention, and that are being referenced right now, although I'm not going to reveal anything else just yet because I want it to be a surprise and I want it to be something that we can really get some hype built up about, because I'm really super excited about it. Now, hopefully, everything will be ironed out for, all the logistics of things will be ironed out, and that could translate to something happening as early as the end of August. Probably shooting for like around the last Sunday of this month. So keeping our fingers crossed for that, and hoping for a good response on the ideas that are being pushed and proposed, I should say, not pushed, but posed. But the idea of the proposal to do what I said that I want to do was received well. And so you never know, right? You never know until you ask about certain things. And this was one of those deals where I'm like, you know what? What's the worst that's going to happen is I'm going to get a no, right? The other thing that could happen is that what I ask is just totally disregarded and no response is given. And those are the two worst things that could possibly happen. I'm either going to get rejected or ignored. And neither of those things happened. As a matter of fact, the response was one of definite interest and excitement, as much as I could, kind of detect through the form of communication that this was all done through, which is all written form. So you can't gauge emotion quite often in written form, but based off of the feedback that I got, there is an interest in wanting to do this. Now we just have to, like I said, nail down the logistics of things, because there are time zones involved with this, and not just East Coast or West Coast domestic time zones. I'm talking international time zones. So there are some things that we can, put into consideration as far as that goes, which is why it's going to take some time to just nail down the logistics of it all. But once the details get ironed out and I'm able to start sharing and promoting the information and the details, I can't wait to share it all with you guys. Dude, Dusty, come on, man. Wow. That's huge. Thank you so much, Dusty. I mean, you won fair and square. The super chat donation is much appreciated, but totally unnecessary. But thank you so very much for that. Very kind, very generous. I appreciate it. Yeah. So, and thank you, Matt. Let's just, I see some of the comments here from everybody recognizing Matt Petrie. I love working with Matt. We've collaborated a bit. We actually have talked about and need to nail down some specifics of doing a collaboration video of sorts together, which I think a lot of people would really dig, and I know I would for sure. Hard Case says, "Hail, your internet is crap," and wanted to just say, keep up the amazing work. Well, thank you, Hard Case. The internet here seems to be working fine, but we were having some lag issues with the stream earlier. Maybe there's some hiccups going on out there in the greater interwebs of things that are preventing some good connection. But thank you for the kind comments and the kind gestures. So yes, Matt is super cool, Brad. I've featured him here on the channel. Actually, I featured his products, I should say, the things that he does. I have a whole video dedicated to it. Matter of fact, if you're a new time comer to the channel, one of the first things you will see is a featured video after you subscribe is going to be things that direct you over to Matt's store, right? It's kind of a promotional thing. But I love what he does. I actually have a new altarpiece coming in the coming weeks. He started work for me on a commission piece, a Thor altarpiece. So very excited about getting that. Been excited about it forever. But he's a busy guy. Good work and quality work and wholesome character keep a man busy, which is a good thing. So guys, get down to odinsbeardwoodworking.com. Place your orders for your god poles, for your altar pieces, for your pocket altars, whatever it is that you want. Keep Matt busy. Keep him busy, right? Keep those orders coming through. Give this man something that he can write home about and provide for his family. He's got a new baby coming. His wife's pregnant with their, I believe it's their third child, right, Matt? You got twins, and then now you got a third on the way. So all the support and all the help is needed, you know. So definitely check him out, odinsbeardwoodworking.com. Follow him on Facebook. He does have a YouTube channel, as you can tell. He does really neat, inspirational, kind of motivational videos through Ayers Embrace, which is a Facebook group. But he also puts his stuff out here on YouTube a bit. So definitely check him out. So wanting to get a, what's that? You said, Alfred, want to get a septum altar. Don't even have a proper altar. Oh, okay, cool. Got to wait for the birthday. Spending Fridays with you guys. Yeah. So yeah, this has been kind of like a neat tradition. I will, just to give you guys a heads up, next Friday is my wife's birthday. So I am most likely, I am not going to be live streaming on my wife's birthday, because not only do I want to live to see my next birthday, but I want to live to see all the rest of her birthdays as well. So no live stream next Friday, but there will be content that comes out throughout the week, of course, with the Havamal readings. I did remember saying last week that there was going to be a new video coming out on Sunday, and I never got around to it. So hopefully that will be coming out this weekend, along with the Havamal reading, the random stanza reading from the Havamal. So yeah. Guys, I had a whole lot of fun tonight, man. This has been really awesome, even with the hiccups that occurred, even with the technical issues that I had starting the live stream a half an hour late. Like everybody else doesn't have things that they should be doing or wanting to do. You guys still stuck around. You guys came back around, and I'm glad you did, because really cool things given away. Matt Petrie from Odin's Beard Woodworking jumped in here, and he's going to provide our second place winner with their own his, you know, something that he's handcrafted or hand carved rather. So that's been great, right? Despite everything, we made it work. Matt says you might get rickrolled. So yeah, that's been a thing on Matt's channel, where he'll go into his thing and then throw in a little bit of humor to lighten everybody's day up. Yeah, you're right, Dingo. She would kill me. So congrats, Steven, as well. Steven's got a second child on the way, so congratulations to you. And I certainly hope and wish you and your significant other and your now family all the very best health. So may Frigg protect and watch over your home. She is usually, you know, attested to having connections to the hearth and home. I hope and wish well for you and your family with Frigg's blessings. So very, very good to hear on that. I enjoyed it too, man. Like I enjoyed the heck out of this. Really makes me, you know, feel inspired to do more stuff like this. And I'm glad that the might get a different chair at least, because I feel like you guys are like looking over me with this camera. I mean, you know, and because I can't, like, I could put it on top of my laptop, but I like the tripod setup. It doesn't shake, rattle, and roll so bad. Might use my chair right here for the live streams going forward. It's just not as comfortable as like my office chair. I'm just nitpicky that way. Yeah, this has been a lot of fun despite getting on late. I agree with you, Steven. Yeah, so Matt's carving as we talk. That's awesome. So let's give something. Let's give Matt a little something to listen to while he carves. How about some stories from the Lord? What do you guys say? We usually do this on the live streams. Sometimes it's from different sources. Sometimes it's from the same source. I'm still sipping on the same glass of scotch that I've been sipping on since the start of this live stream, which has been, shoot, how long have we been going now? An hour and 20 minutes. That's almost unheard of. I'm usually on my second glass at this point. What do you got to say about that? Oh, I remember another thing too. Brad, I think if you're still here, didn't you get a copy of We Are Our Deeds? Did you end up getting that in the mail, or was that somebody else that I was thinking about? I know we've talked about that book here a lot in various ways on the channel. I've made reference to it in some of my videos too. We've talked about it in the live stream. I just can't remember if it was you, Brad, that got it. Use the can and get some more mead for the story. Yes, please, guys, get up. Use this opportunity to get settled in and nestled in and comfortable. So refill your glass. I'm doing pretty good here. I got a full bottle of water. I still got some scotch left. And then when this glass is keep looking at me. I got to get used to that. When this glass is we call it exhausted, I've got the final bits of one of my favorite brands. It's just about a swig's worth of this delicious smokehead. And you want to know the really messed up part of this whole thing, right, guys? I got this from the liquor store in Murfreesboro that I frequent months ago, and this is what's left of it. I love it that much. And you know what's happened? I've gone to the liquor store and they don't have this anymore, and they haven't had it for quite some time. They've got one of the other brands of this, but it's like this particular brand is actually pretty easy on the wallet. I think you're looking at maybe 50 or so bucks for a handle this size. The other one that they've got is like triple digits. So I got to find another liquor store to get that one in, and I don't even know if they'll have it. So it might be a futile attempt to search for one of my favorite scotches. This is great. If you like smoky Islay scotches, this is going to be right up your alley. So Dingo, if you're still watching, I know I've talked about this before, but if I can get my hands on this, or if you can get your hands on this, let me know, because this right here is legit. As a matter of fact, it's too legit to quit. I'm working double shifts this week. Going to dip out and head to bed. Good night, Troy. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you for your support from the channel. So I appreciate your stopping in and saying hi to everybody and joining us for the part of the trivia. Supply lines are thin. I understand that, dude, totally. I'm just, in the industry that you're in, just curious to know if it's visible or if it's something that you've seen or on your shelves. I haven't seen this, but in just one or two stores that I've been in. Actually, just the one store that I've been in. And this particular brand, this is just the original brand. It's just, the label is like this bronze colored label. They've got other ones that got like a red skull, and then there's another one with like a silver motif or whatever to it. But this one right here is it's the only one I've got, and it's the most affordable for me. So if you happen to see it in your travels or in passing or whatever, and I don't have to order it online and get killed by shipping, that would be ideal. Do a Thor story and talk about Thor. Okay, Matt, since you're talking about carving my God pole, which is the Thor piece, about to get a shot glass and take a shot of water with y'all. 2 years sober. Well done, Matt Petrie, on your 2 years of your sobriety. So congratulations on that, and I will definitely toast and skull to your sobriety. So let's all take a drink from Matt tonight, whatever it is. Doesn't have to be mead or scotch or whatever. Just let's take a drink of water from Matt, shall we? Let's toast to his health, toast to the keeping of your oath, right? To stay sober. You've done well. So may your oaths always be kept. Skull. All right. So following Matt's advice to read a story about Thor, I like that idea. There is not a time where I don't love talking about our big brother, right? Hey, Greg Strong from Raven Moon Hearth, chieftain of the Raven Moon Hearth here in Nashville, Tennessee. Hail and welcome to the live stream. Yeah, just missed. I say just. I mean, we've probably been done with the trivia part of this live stream for about the last 20 minutes, but it was really super fun. We were able to give away a rune set and Thor's necklace, Mjolnir hammer, and then the second so that was first place prize. Second place is going to get a hand carved item from Matt Petrie at Odin's Woodworking. So it's been a really fun night. Now we're going to get into reading from the lore, and Matthew Petrie suggested that we read about Thor because as we speak and as we stream live, Matt is working on carving a new altarpiece for me, a Thor piece. It's a 7 to 8 inch tall Thor God piece. Very excited to share that with everybody. I'm loving Matt's work, and I've got, you know, the pocket altar thing, which has everybody seen the pocket altar that I got before we get into it? It's also Thor, but I like to take him with me wherever I go. So has everybody seen the pocket altar? I can show you guys real quick. Back with mead. Can we toast to Thor? You damn Skippy, we can, right? It's a family-friendly channel, but, you know, damn is in PG movies all the time. So yes, absolutely. Hail to the Thunderer. Hail to Thor. Hail to the protector of gods and man, protector of Midgard, big brother to us all. Hail Redbeard. Yeah. Big brother Thor. So here's my pocket altar Thor. And I love how the camera is able to focus in on it. He's handsome. He's sexy. He's all that. And I want to call to attention the fact that, look at, if the camera will be able to do it justice, hopefully it can. Look at the detail, right? The male, his hair, right? His beard, the detail, the attention to detail that Matt puts into these things. Now, guys, bear in mind, not one single power tool touches his work, right? This is all hand carved, right? So all of the details that is in this are through Matt's own hands. No machine did any of that. Isn't that impressive? I can't wait to get my my 7 or 8 inch Thor and set him up over here and give him his place. Very excited for that. Yes, hail and skull. Good way to crack open the next meat. Awesome. All right, so get all this business out of my way. It's getting quite crazy up in there. Let's see here. I'm looking at this. Yes. Let's read about Thor's Duel. For those that don't know, the book that I read from quite often here on the live streams is the Epic Tales, Norse Myths and Tales. You can pick this up for about $20. I got it for around that much at Barnes & Noble several years back. You might be able to find it cheaper through Amazon or wherever, but it's pretty readily available. Comes in a really handsome blue hardcover, kind of glossy finish. I love the gold lettering. You can see there the lighting is a little bit better there. But yeah, Epic Tales, Norse Myths and Tales. So while Matt Petrie at Odin's Beard Woodworking works on the Thor piece for me, Alfred needs a tier. Well, he does tiers. He does tier Odin, Heimdall, Frigg, Freya, Loki. I mean, it's all on his website. Dozens and dozens of the Norse gods and goddesses. So whenever you're ready, head over to odinsbeardwoodworking.com. All the pricing and all that's there. Check it out. Okay. Story time, boys and girls. Now that you've all got your meads and brews and everything refilled, still got a little bit left of that before we crack into the smokehead. $10. You saw it, John Watkins? Well, that's a steal. I would have picked it up just to have it again. I'd have 2 copies of it. It's a fun read. So anyway, here's the story of Thor's Duel. In the days that are past, a wonderful race of horses pastured in the meadows of heaven, steeds more beautiful and more swift than any which the world knows today. There was Hrinfaxi, black, sleek horse, who drew the chariot of night across the sky and scattered the dew upon his foaming bit. There was Glod, behind whose flying heels sped the swift chariot of day. His mane was yellow with gold, and from it beamed light which made the whole world bright. Then there were the two shining horses of the sun, Ardvakar the watchful and Alsvith the rapid, and 9 fierce battle charges of the 9 Valkyrs, who bore the bodies of fallen heroes from the field of fight to the blessedness of Valhalla. Each of the gods had his own glorious steed, with such pretty names as Goldmane and Silvertop, Lightfoot, and Precious Stone. These galloped with their masters over clouds and across the blue air, blowing flame from their nostrils and glinting sparks from their fiery eyes. The Aesir would have been poor indeed without their faithful mounts, and few would be the stories to tell in which these noble creatures do not bear at least a part. But best of all the horses of heaven was Sleipnir, the 8-legged horse of Father Odin, who, because he was so well supplied with sturdy feet, could gallop faster over land and sea than any horse which ever lived. Sleipnir was snow white and beautiful to see, and Odin was very fond and proud of him, you may be sure. He loved to ride forth upon his good horse's back to meet whatever adventure might be upon the way, and sometimes they had wild times together. One day, Odin galloped off from Asgard upon Sleipnir straight towards Jotunheim and the land of giants. For it was long since Allfather had been to the cold country, and he wished to see how its mountains and ice rivers looked. Now, as he galloped along a wild road, he met a huge giant standing beside his giant steed. "Who goes there?" cried the giant gruffly, blocking the way so that Odin could not pass. "You with the golden helmet, who are you who ride so famously through air and water? For I have been watching you from this mountain top. Truly, this is a fine horse which you bestride." "There is no finer horse in all the world," boasted Odin. "Have you not heard of Sleipnir, the pride of Asgard? I will match him against any of your big, clumsy giant horses." "Ho, ho!" roared the giant angrily. "An excellent horse he is, your little Sleipnir, but I warrant that he is no match for my Gulfaxi here. Come, let us try a race, and at its end I shall pay you for your insult to our horses of Jotunheim." So, saying, the giant, whose ugly name was Hrungnir, sprang upon his horse and spurred straight at Odin in the narrow way. Odin turned and galloped back towards Asgard with all of his might. For not only must he prove his horse's speed, but he must save himself and Sleipnir from the anger of the giant, who was one of the fiercest and wickedest of all his fierce and wicked race. How the slender legs of Sleipnir twinkled through the blue sky! How his nostrils quivered and shot forth fire and smoke! Like a flash of lightning, he darted across the sky, and the giant horse rumbled and thumped along close behind, like the thunder following the flash. "Ho, ho!" yelled the giant. "After them, Gulfaxi! And when we have overtaken the two, we will crush their bones between us." "Speed, speed, my Sleipnir!" shouted Odin. "Speed, good horse, so you will never again feed in the dewy pastures of Asgard with the other horses. Speed, speed, and bring us safe within the gates." It's kind of neat. I've ridden horses before. Never once did I ever get a horse to ride faster or move quicker or better by just yelling the words "speed, speed." I guess poetic creativity, poetic license, whatever. Anyway, well, Sleipnir understood what his master said and well knew the way. Already the Rainbow Bridge was in sight, with Heimdall the watchman prepared to let them in. His sharp eyes had spied them from afar, and had recognized the flash of Sleipnir's white body and of Odin's golden helmet. Gallop and thud! The 12 hooves were upon the bridge, the giant horse close behind the other. At last, Hrungnir knew where he was and into what danger he was rushing. He pulled at the reins and tried to stop his great beast, but Gulifaxi was tearing along at too terrible a speed. He could not stop. Heimdall threw open the gates of Asgard, and in galloped Sleipnir with his precious burden safe. Close upon them bolted in Gulifaxi, bearing his giant master, puffing and purple in the face from hard riding and anger. Cling clang! Or something like that. Heimdall had shut and barred the gates, and there was the giant prisoned in the castle of his enemies. Now the Aesir were courteous folk, unlike the giants, and they were not anxious to take advantage of a single enemy thus thrown into their power. They invited him to enter Valhalla with them to rest and sup before the long journey of his return. Thor was not present, so they filled for the giant the great cup which Thor was wont to drink, for they were nearest to the giant's size. But you remember that Thor was famous for his power to drink deep. Hrungnir's head was not so steady. Thor's draught was too much for him. He soon lost his wits, of which he had but few, and a witless giant is a most dreadful creature. He raged like a madman and threatened to pick up Valhalla like a toy house and carry it home with him to Jotunheim. He said he would pull Asgard to pieces and slay all the gods, except for Freya the fair and Sif, the golden-haired wife of Thor, whom he would carry off like little dolls for his toy home. The Aesir knew not what to do, for Thor and his hammer were not there to protect them, and Asgard seemed in danger with this enemy within its very walls. Hrungnir called for more and more mead, which Freya alone dared to bring and set before him. And the more he drank, the fiercer he became. At last the Aesir could bear no longer his insults and his violence. Besides, they feared that there would be no more mead left for their banquets if this unwelcome visitor should keep Freya pouring out for him Thor's mighty goblets. They bade Heimdall blow his horn and summon Thor, and this Heimdall did in a trice. Now, rumbling and thundering in his chariot of goats, came Thor. He dashed into the hall, hammer in hand, and stared in amazement at the unwieldy guest whom he found there. A giant feasting in Asgard! Ho! He roared. This is a sight for which I will never wish to see again. Who gave this insolent fellow leave to sit in my place? And why does fair Freya wait upon him as if he were some noble guest at a feast? I will slay him at once. And he raised his hammer to keep his word. Thor's coming had sobered the giant somewhat, for he knew that this was no enemy to be trifled with. He looked at Thor sulkily and said, I am Odin's guest. He invited me to this banquet, and therefore I am under his protection. You shall be sorry that you accepted the invitation, cried Thor, balancing his hammer and looking very fierce, for Sif had sobbed in his ear how the giant had threatened to carry her away. Now, guys, right? The last thing you want to do, or the last thing that you would ever want have done to you, right, is to have your lady, your fair maiden, your wife, your whoever, threatened from some other schmuck, right? Now we got Thor, who has Sif crying into his ear, saying, Hrungnir is going to carry me away and play with me like a doll and do all sorts of unspeakable things. Woe to the man or the god or the giant or anybody who would face Thor's wrath at that point, right? So Hrungnir now rose to his feet and faced Thor boldly, for the sound of Thor's gruff voice had restored his scattered wits. I am here alone and without weapons, he said. You would do ill to slay me now. It would be little like the noble Thor, of whom we hear tales, to do such a thing. The world will count you braver if you let me go and meet me later in single combat, when we shall both be fairly armed. Well, Thor dropped his hammer to his side. Your words are true, he said, for he was a just and honorable fellow. I was foolish to leave my shield and stone club at home, went on the giant. If I had my arms with me, we would fight at this moment. But I name you a coward if you slay me now, as an unarmed enemy. Your words are just, quoth Thor again. I have never before been challenged by any foe. I will meet you, Hrungnir, at your stone city, midway between heaven and earth, and there we will fight a duel to see which of us is the better fellow. Hrungnir departed for Stone City in Jotunheim, and great was the excitement of the other giants when they heard of the duel which one of their number was to fight with Thor, the deadliest enemy of their race. We must be sure that Hrungnir wins the victory, they cried. It will never do to have Asgard victorious in the first duel that we have fought with their champion. We will make a second hero to aid Hrungnir. All the giants set to work with a will. They brought great buckets of moist clay, and heaping them up into a huge mound, molded the mass with their giant hands as a sculptor does his image, until they had made a man of clay, an immense dummy, 9 miles high and 3 miles wide. Now we must make him live. We must put a heart into him, they cried. But they could find no heart big enough until they thought of taking that of a mare, and that fitted nicely. A mare's heart is the most cowardly one that beats. Interesting choice. Hrungnir's heart was a 3-cornered piece of hard stone. His head was also of stone, and likewise the great shield which he held before him when he stood outside of Stone City waiting for Thor to come to the duel. Over his shoulder he carried his club, and that also was of stone, the kind from which whetstones are made. Hard and terrible. By his side stood the huge clay man, Mokrolfi, and they were a dreadful sight to see, these two vast bodies whom Thor must encounter. Now, as a side note, and as I recall, Hrungnir's heart is also is what quite often the Vulcan gets referred to as, right? As he even mentions its dimensions, right? 3-cornered pieces of stone. The Vulcan being the same thing, so that's where we get that reference from. But at the very first sight of Thor, who came thundering to the place where, with swift Thialfi, his servant, the timid mare's heart in the man of clay throbbed with fear. He trembled so that his knees buckled together and his 9 miles of height rocked unsteadily. Thialfi ran up to Hrungnir and began to mock him, saying, "You are careless, giant. I fear you do not know what a mighty enemy has come to fight you. You hold your shield in front of you, but that will serve you nothing. Thor has seen this. He has only to go down into the earth, and he can attack you conveniently from beneath your very feet." At this terrifying news, Hrungnir hastened to throw his shield upon the ground and to stand upon it so that he might be safe from Thor's understroke. He grasped his heavy club with both hands and waited. He had not long to wait. There was a blinding flash of lightning and a peal of crashing thunder. Thor had cast his hammer into space. Hrungnir raised his club with both hands and hurled it against the hammer which he saw flying towards him. The two mighty weapons met in the air with an ear-splitting shock. Hard as was the stone of the giant's club, it was like glass against the power of Mjolnir. The club was dashed into pieces. Some fragments fell upon the earth, and these, they say, are the rocks from which whetstones are made unto this day. They are so hard that men use them to sharpen knives and axes and scythes. One splinter of the hard stone struck Thor himself in the forehead with a blow so fierce that he fell forward upon the ground, and Thialfi feared that he was killed. But Mjolnir, not even stopped in its course by meeting the giant's club, sped straight to Hrungnir and crushed his stony skull, so that he fell forward over Thor, and his foot lay on the fallen hero's neck. And that was the end of the giant whose head and heart were of stone. Meanwhile, Thialfi the Swift had fought with the man of clay and had found little trouble in toppling him to earth. For the mare's cowardly heart and his great body gave him little strength to meet Thor's faithful servant, and the trembling limbs of Morkulfi soon yielded to Thialfi's hearty blows. He fell like an unsteady tower of blocks, and his brittle bulk shivered into 1,000 fragments. Thialfi ran to his master and tried to raise him. The giant's great foot still rested upon his neck, and all Thialfi's strength could not move it away. Swift as the wind, he ran for the other Aesir, and when they heard that great Thor, their champion, had fallen and seemed like one dead, they came rushing to the spot in horror and confusion. Together, they all attempted to raise Hrungnir's foot from Thor's neck, that they might see whether their hero lived or no. But all their efforts were in vain. The foot was not to be lifted by Aesir might. At this moment, a second hero appeared upon the scene. It was Magni, the son of Thor himself. Magni, who was but 3 days old, yet already in his babyhood he was almost as big as a giant, and had nearly the strength of his father. This wonderful youngster came running to the place where his father lay, surrounded by a group of sad-faced and despairing gods. When Magni saw what the matter was, he seized Hrungnir's enormous foot in both his hands, heaved his broad young shoulders, and in a moment Thor's neck was free of the weight which was crushing it. Best of all, it proved that Thor was not dead, only stunned by the blow of the giant's club and by his fall. He stirred, sat up painfully, looked around at the group of eager friends. "Who lifted the weight from my neck?" he asked. "It was I, father," answered Magni modestly. Thor clasped him in his arms and hugged him tightly, beaming with pride and gratitude. "Truly you are a fine child," he cried, "one to make glad your father's heart. Now, as a reward for your great deed, for your first great deed, you shall have a gift from me. The swift horse of Hrungnir shall be yours, that same Gulifaxi, who was the beginning of all this trouble. You shall ride Gulifaxi. Only a giant steed is strong enough to bear the weight of such an infant prodigy as you, my Magni." Now this word did not wholly please Father Odin, for he knew that a horse so excellent ought to belong to him. He took Thor aside and argued that, but for him, there would have been no duel, no horse to win. Thor answered simply, "True, Father Odin, you began this trouble, but I have fought your battle, destroyed your enemy, and suffered great pain for you. Surely I have won the horse fairly, and may give it to whom I choose. My son, who has saved me, deserves a horse as good as any. Yet, as you have proved, even Gulifaxi is scarce a match for your Sleipnir. Verily, Father Odin, you should be content with the best." And Odin, at that, said no more. Now Thor went home to his cloud palace in Thrudvang, and there he was healed of all his hurts, except that which the splinter of stone had made in his forehead. For the stone was embedded so fast that it could not be taken out. And Thor suffered sorely therefore. Sif, his yellow-haired wife, was in despair, knowing not what to do. At last she bethought her of this wise woman, Groa, who had skill in all manners of herbs and witch charms. Sif sent for Groa, who lived all alone and sad because her husband Orvandil had disappeared. She knew not whether Groa came to Thor, standing beside his bed while he slept, sang strange songs, and gently waved her hands over him. Immediately, the stone in his forehead began to loosen, and Thor opened his eyes. "The stone is loosening. The stone is coming out," he cried. "How can I reward you, gentle dame? Prithee, what is your name?" "My name is Groa," answered the woman weeping, "wife of Orvindil, who is lost." "Now, then, I can reward you, kind Groa," cried Thor, "for I can bring you tidings of your husband. I met him in the old country, in Jotunheim, the land of giants, which you know I sometimes visit for a bit of good hunting. It was by Eilvegar's icy river that I met Orvindil, and there was no way for him to cross. So I put him in an iron basket and myself bore him over the flood. Brrr, it was cold, but that is a cold land. His feet stuck out through the meshes of the basket, and when he reached the other side, one of his toes was frozen stiff. So I broke it off and tossed it up into the sky, that it might become a star. To prove that what I relate is true, Groa, there is the new star shining over us at this very moment. Look, from this day it shall be known to men as Orvandil's toe. Do not you weep any longer. After all, the loss of a toe is a little thing. And I promise that your husband shall soon return to you, safe and sound, before that small token of his wanderings in the land where visitors are not welcome. At these joyful tidings, poor Groa was so overcome that she fainted. And that put an end to the charm which she was weaving to loosen the stone from Thor's head. The stone was not yet wholly free, and thenceforth it was in vain to attempt its removal. Thor must always wear the splinter in his forehead. Groa could never forgive herself for the carelessness which had thus made her skill vain to help one to whom she had reason to be so grateful. Now, because of the bit of whetstone in Thor's forehead, folk of olden times were very careful how they used a whetstone, and especially they knew that they must not throw or drop one on the floor. For when they did so, the splinter in Thor's forehead was jarred, and the good Asa suffered great pain. So there's the story of Thor's duel with Hrungnir, how he destroyed that vile fellow and received battle wound, battle scar, to which he was never fully healed. So let me get up here through some of the comments and catch up with everybody who's commented. You can pay Matt's site a visit. There we go. Glad to see that Matt's stuff is still being talked about amongst and through the stories. Thor isn't going to be happy. You're right, Alfred? Never want to meet a witless giant, for sure. Unknown Survivor, hail and welcome, man. Just joined in the live stream not too long ago as we were reading through the stories. Everybody, Unknown Survivor is all the way out in Australia, which is always really cool to me that we get people coming in from all parts of the world. Earlier today, we had New Zealand, I think Ireland, all over the place in the United States. We've had all coasts, East Coast, West Coast, the South, everywhere. So really awesome to see everybody coming in. So welcome to the show, Unknown Survivor. We had a really awesome, yes, and hail Magni indeed, right, Alfred? We had a really awesome live stream so far tonight with some giveaways. We did some really neat Norse mythology trivia. Matt from Odin's Beard Woodworking has been on the live stream as well to provide a second place prize for the trivia game. So it's been fun. Got to do some readings from Laura. I told you guys a little bit about a upcoming project that I've already got confirmed. There are just some things that logistically need to be worked out. So all that's going to be coming. Thank you, Matt, who says, good story. I liked it. I like the way it's written and the way it's delivered. It's a fun read, What is the name of the mineral we use for whetstones? Let's find out. I will find out for you. So, according to my sources, artificial stones usually come in the form of bonded abrasive, sharpening stones, whetstones, and oil stones. Silicon carbide, aluminum oxide. Might have to do a little bit more research, but I think you could use various things, right? Various materials. I don't usually like to refer to Wikipedia as a source of anything reliable. But whetstones can be both artificial and natural. So there's different things that can be used for as a whetstone, different materials. It'd be interesting to research, look into, think if a specific stone from that region, what that stone was naturally used for the sharpening of things. But unfortunately, I don't have an immediate answer, so I'd have to look into it a little bit more. Yeah, no problem. Hey, Neil Stafford. Never heard the story before. Reading your son Neil Gaiman's book. I haven't yet read that book yet by Neil Gaiman. It's on my list, and I want to get it. I just don't have it yet. So let's go ahead and finish this, shall we? It's only like a swig or so, if that. I almost hate to I keep looking at this on my shelf, and I go, I almost don't want to get rid of it because I don't know where I can find it around here for sure anymore. But like so many things, good things must come to an end. But man, if you guys could smell this, are you guys aware of this thing called smell-o-vision? If you haven't heard of it, let me tell you, it's the next big thing. And everybody has it. You just don't know. You just need to activate it. So what I want you guys to do is very quite simply just activate your smell-o-vision. Okay? You got it? Good. Here it is. Go ahead. Let me get it. Part of the whole, will it do it or will it not? Hold on. There it is. You got your smell-o-vision on? Give that a whiff. Isn't that lovely? It's like imagine you're just sitting on the coast of like the ocean, right? And an autumn day, maybe around mid-October, let's say, and you are burning a fire on the coastal waters, and you're sitting in front of the waters, and there's a breeze that blows in, and the wood is burning, and the smoke coming up from your fire enters your nostrils, and you get a beautiful aroma of the driftwood and the oak and everything that you're burning in that fire. You're getting that aroma, but you're also getting the aroma from the sea, the salt water that's being blown in. And that, my friends, is an Islay. That is an Islay Scotch that you're smelling there right now. And this one is one of my favorites, Smokehead. Oh, man. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it that I've experienced yet. Glad you guys like the story. So as I read through the comments here, yeah, thinking about your dearly departed dad and getting sentimental. Want to pour out some bloat to him? We'll definitely do that. You know, the memories of our loved ones live on, or our loved ones live on in memory and in song, and in ritual. So we never truly will be without them as long as we keep them alive in talking about them and celebrating their lives. And it's an interesting thing, you know. I recently, matter of fact, this week, I start my work week, and everybody always gets, funny about, oh, it's Monday, blah, blah, blah. But I literally had the absolute worst Monday of my life this week, because when I came to work this week, I received an email that notified me that an employee of mine had passed away over the weekend. And this employee didn't have much family, right? Never married, no kids, pretty much lived by himself with his dog. He had some siblings or a sibling and other relatives like nephews or whatever out of state, but like I legitimately was rocked by that news, man. And it's interesting because the whole week, his name has not left my lips. His memory has not been forgotten. His songs have been sung. When I say songs have sung, it's not like we're sitting around singing about this guy. But his memory has been not lost. And in that way, I hope we are able to preserve his life for his loved ones who are, you know, traveling from great distances to collect his belongings and take care of all the various and sundry things that need to be done in times like these. So hopefully when such things like this happen, and the amount of connection that we have to people, right? Like I said, I only knew this guy because of work, and but I knew him because he was an employee of mine, right? Like he worked directly with me and for me, and I was a part of his training and his onboarding and his development in his professional capacity. So there was weird tied there to some degree, you know what I mean? He expected certain things from me, and I expected some things from him, and there was this mutual understanding of obligation. So to that degree and to that level, you could say that there was some frith woven between the two of us, because that's what frith is. You know, there's that frith involves obligation and meeting those obligations, and not letting those things go undone. So I was jarred by his, you know, by him passing away so unexpectedly. So anyway, my point being is, when you feel so inclined, and when you are thinking about those departed loved ones, whoever they may be, however they may have impacted your life, you can preserve their memory. You preserve their life by doing certain things, you know, speaking of their names, and out of respect for the family, I'm not going to name the names, but just know that all throughout this week, his songs have been sung and he has been spoken well of. So in that hope and in those deeds, we hope that he has found his way to the halls of his ancestors. So that's my little bit of like woo-woo type stuff, philosophical, whatever you want to call it, spiritual ideas, things that have just been on my mind this week when it comes to the way I view the world, and how we share weird with people, right? Don't think you've ever had scotch, Alfred. So if you don't think you've ever had scotch, then you've probably never had scotch, because anybody who's an avid scotch drinker, if you're around them, because like to me, scotch isn't one of those things that anybody just decides, oh, one day I'm going to try scotch, right? There's usually a purpose or a reason why somebody would want to try scotch, and usually that reason or purpose is somebody else that they know is an avid scotch drinker. So you would have had somebody around that knows scotch enough to say, well, do you want to try it? Here's what you should try. What kind of things do you like? Because there's various kinds of scotches, right? You got your Isleys, you got your Highlands, you got your Speyside, you got blended scotch, single malt, all that kind of stuff. And so unless you are just one of the rare types that are just like, you know, I see a $50 bottle of scotch and I want to try it for once in my life, probably not the case. You've probably been introduced to it by somebody who knows a bit about it. So if those types of things interest you, if you like some of complex flavor profiles in whiskey, scotch is just a fun experience to me. It's really an enjoyable experience, you know, to like a nice Islay pairs well with some smoked meats, or a good cigar, or a good pipe, you know. Of course, I'm indoors and I don't usually smoke indoors, but I will quite often sit outside on my deck and have a pipe with a nice scotch, enjoy it that way. Celebrate his memory always. Way to go, unknown survivor. Well, hail to your dearly departed father, and may his memory always live on, and may his songs always be sung, and may they be good songs. So a toast and a skull to you and yours. So thank you for sharing your sharing what you shared with us tonight and today, because of course, as you are watching this in Australia, it's already Saturday. So appreciate you sharing and commenting. Wyatt Coverdale, my dude, all the way from Buffalo, checking in. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Hope that school isn't kicking your butt too bad. This has been a really fun live stream. Wyatt, wish you could have been here. We did a Norse mythology trivia night. 21 questions. It got pretty dicey in the last few rounds. We actually had a sudden death we had a tie for second place. Battle take place between some two key individuals here in the live chat, dueling it out for second place. We got a really awesome giveaway prize for our first place winner, was a basswood rune set and Mjolnir necklace. And then second place prize was something from Odin's Woodworking. Matt Petrie over here is going to, and I didn't even have that plan, guys, which is really awesome, right? I didn't even have that plan. Matt just jumped in. He's like, hey, second place, I got you. We're going to do this thing. We're going to rock it together. Matt jumped in and he's like, we'll do a rune necklace or Mjolnir or something like that. I forget what the end result was, but he did something and it's going to do something as a second place prize for that. So it was fun. And then we did, Matt right currently, or at least was, might still be carving my next altarpiece. So I commissioned him to do a Thor altarpiece about 7 or 8 inches tall. He's been working on that tonight. So in respect to that, we read a story from the lore about Thor's duel with Hrungnir and how he, killed the giant with Mjolnir, and the piece of the giant's whetstone weapons were lodged in Thor's head and all this kind of stuff. It was really fun stuff, story time type of thing. So, and then we were talking about scotches, right? You came in right at the right moment as far as that goes, because guess what? I need more scotch. And there is no more right now, except for what's in my glass. But I have other drinking items. I have this really neat peanut butter whiskey, which, if you guys aren't familiar with, is called Screwball. So we may sample some of that later on. But yeah, finished your summer school. We were having a blast, and maybe hopefully we'll get to see in the next one. We was telling everybody earlier, my wife's birthday is next Friday. So the Friday night live streams that I usually do here, if I'm able to, I'm not sure what her total plans are. She may have some plans with friends, but definitely not Friday night. So we may do a live stream Saturday, but as it stands right now, I'm not putting too many big plans on the live stream next week. But what you did miss earlier was a little hint of something, a little whisper in the ears of all the viewers out here in YouTube land about a really neat project that I'm working on. I've already got the green light on it. I'm just waiting for some of the logistics to be nailed down. So once all that gets nailed down and I get to share it around, hopefully, if everything works out, logistically speaking, there should be something out about it very soon, and then content published at the end of the month. Yeah, Screwball. Tear ducts are still intact when your eye was removed. Well, at least you got those, right, Alfred? Yeah, I need more scotch. Guys, if you haven't been in the live stream over the last month or so, Wyatt has been. Whenever I ran out of scotch or whatever during the live stream, which funny enough, I've only had one drink tonight for the last 2 hours. This doesn't count as a drink because that's like I'm literally milking this for all it's worth, because this is the last bit of Smokehead that I may possibly ever have in my area. I don't know. So I'm enjoying every bit of it, and I'm enjoying it with you. But during some of the previous live streams where Wyatt was here, and I've run out of like my normal, just like day-to-day kind of whatever it may be, which is usually Clan McGregor. It's a blended scotch, and I've run out. I had to go get more. It just became like a joke, right? Like, because I was like, I need more scotch, and then he was like, well, that's gonna just be my thing going forward. I need more scotch. So it kind of became a little internal joke thing or whatever during the live stream. So yes, quite frankly, I do need more scotch, because as it stands right now, all of my single malt scotches are liquidated. Once I finish this, that's all she wrote, that soldier. And the only thing I got left is this Screwball peanut butter whiskey. But anyway, going back to the thing that I was just mentioning earlier about this big project, the logistics of things have yet to be ironed out. And the reason why that is because there are time zones to take into to be factored in and to take into consideration. And I'm not talking East Coast time zone to Central time zone or West Coast time zone to whatever. I'm talking international time zones that need to be taken into consideration here. So I wouldn't call it a collaboration, but the inclusion of the subjects for this project, I think you guys are going to flip when I'm able to reveal it. I really do. I hope you do. I hope you will. I hope that as excited as I am about it, that you'll be excited about it as well. That remains to be seen. I could be just talking a big game, and then when it all comes out, you're going to be like, really? That's it? Who knows? We shall see. 7H over here on the East Coast. 7H. Yeah, it is the 7th, right? So Unknown Survivor is in Australia, so it is already the 8th there. So currently right now I am looking at 10 minutes to the top of the hour, which for me is going to be 11 p.m. For folks like One-Eyed Heathen, who's an hour in front of me, is almost midnight. And then Unknown Survivors all the way on the other side of the world. So it's already like, whatever, noon or something in Australia. I forget the time there. There's a big time difference. It's like it's either 12 hours or 16 hours or something like that. It's your day's already well underway for Saturday. I tell you what would be really cool. What happens when, and I'm not going to say if, but what's going to happen when the day comes that I stream live here on YouTube, or I put a video out on YouTube and I'm not in Middle Tennessee? What happens when I'm putting a video out because I'm visiting Iceland, or I'm visiting Australia, right? Or I'm visiting Germany, or I'm visiting Denmark, or some of the places where I'm like, where a lot of my ancestors are from. What happens when that like, that's what I look forward to. When that day is going to be, can't say for sure. It's going to happen though. It's going to happen because I say it's going to happen. That's what I want it to happen. And when you put it out there and when you say it, then you just got to do it. You just got to make it happen. And that's what part of what I'm doing right here tonight is about. May not look like it, may not seem like it, but I tell you right now, there's a method to this madness. And being out here on a Friday night when I could be out doing something else, or hanging around somebody else's house, or having somebody else here. The reason why I'm here tonight is to learn, to educate, and to grow, and to do things, and to make things happen. And that's what we all should be doing, right? Grow, learn, make things happen in your own lives and in your own ways. Make it so, as Captain Picard would have said. Well, he did say it, but as he says, make it so. Make it so. That's my Patrick Stewart impersonation, which I think was horrible. You guys can be the judge. Yeah. So guys, the reason why you lose sight of me looking at you right now is because my laptop's over here and I'm reading the comments because my camera's right up here. I got a different setup thanks to our good friend Joshua Smith, who's not in the live stream, but who sent me this really awesome webcam in support of these live streams. So huge shout out to everyone who's supporting the channel, but especially to those like Joshua, who's so generous and so willing to, like, hey, I got this thing laying around, I don't use it anymore, do you want it? Here it is. Did a great thing and is helping out a lot. So the setup is a little different. We'll go from it, we'll work on it, kind of get used to things and change things up a little bit. I need more scotch. Make it. I need more scotch. Make it so. I need more scotch. Make it so. That's horrible. I need more scotch. Make it so. Patrick Stewart, if you're watching, which I know you're not, that was a horrible, horrible impersonation of Captain Picard from Star Trek. Scotch, it is green. You said it is green? Huh. Not to my knowledge. Wyatt Coverdale says, is totemism needed in heathenry? Just use a candle to call upon the gods. So if you're talking about having like physical like representations or idols or totems or god poles or whatever, is it necessary in heathenry? You'll probably get different answers depending on who you ask. I don't think that it's necessary. I think that because the gods exist outside of our physical perception of existence, our physical perception of time and place and everything like that. We're getting into some of the metaphysics of it all, but the presence of a totem or the presence of a god pole does have some historical references, right? So god poles specifically for greater community type based worship or veneration of the gods. There's plenty of sources that reference god poles being sacrificed to or being gifts being brought to for certain major holy tides in medieval that predate medieval Scandinavia and around medieval Scandinavia. But is it necessary? Like, if you don't have one, are you unable to connect to the gods, or are you unable? No, I don't believe that. I think, like, for you, why, like, if you don't have those specific pieces of the gods, but you use a candle, you use some sort of physical thing to focus your energy on that sacred figure, then that's sufficient. That's fine. It could be any, you know what I mean? Like, it could be, I'm not gonna say it could be anything, because I'm like, you're not gonna just stick like a fork in a piece of wood and call that, Odin. But something that you have a dedicated representation of the sacred, right? Like, for me, for the longest, I didn't have any physical representations of the gods in my altar space. My altar space grew and still continues to grow based off of things that I learn and the ways that I grow as a heathen. So candles were one of those things. I attached and scribed certain runes to a candle holder to to sort of like represent that god or deity that I want to work with, right? So for instance, I've had a candle holder on my altar space, which I've shown, right? I've shown this to everybody in my videos. I've kind of done like a showcase of my altar before, which is right behind me here. But it's been candles that have runes on them that I associate with certain gods, right? So I've got a candle dedicated to Odin, and then I have Onsus on that rune. I have a candle dedicated to Freyr, and I have Ing. I have the Ingvaz rune on that, and then I have a rune dedicated to Frigg, and I have the Feu rune on that. So my association with the gods I have, and the runes are that. So I think that's totally fine. I think if it works, definitely rock it, right? Matt says, no, it's not. It isn't. Just sort of mirroring or echoing, I guess you could say, what I'm sharing, my own insight. Again, you're probably going to get different responses from different people depending on how they approach heathenry and what their methodology is behind it all. Unknown survivor sits in front of his carved hammer. When you sit in guidance, your Mjolnir is starting to corrode. I'm not sure where that Mjolnir came from. I know it came from Greg, but as far as the original source of it, so I'm very careful with some of the jewelry that I get, because again, I don't know 100% for sure if it's like true stainless steel or whatever, if I got it from as a gift or whatever. So I never wear my hammer like against my skin or in the water or in the shower or anything like that, unless I know for sure like that it's not going to corrode or stain or whatever. Just because I don't want to tarnish it. I don't want to. Now, I have always with me this, which started out as a silver T rune, which let me just take it off and show you, which this one never leaves me. And this is looking odd right now, but this pendant never leaves me. This is a Tyr rune that I got, which is represented with a couple raven heads. My hair got attached to it, but here you go. So here's my Tyr rune, and as you can tell, it's pretty much brown. That's pretty much, it's, I won't say corroded. It started out as very silver looking, and there's a lot of wear on it, but that's because I've never taken it off. It's always with me. It's always on me, and it's always, you know, so when I shower, when I swim, whenever I, you know, wherever I go, work out, whatever, it never leaves me. Because Tyr is another deity who I always have worked with and have a special connection with. And as a matter of fact, my next piece from Matt, so Matt, fair warning, my next piece will be Tyr piece. But I already knew, like when I got that, pendant, and I'm like, this is gonna fade. It's not gonna remain that silver color because it was plated. You know what I mean? I knew it wasn't stainless steel. It was an inexpensive replica of something. So I was fine with that. I was okay with that. But it never leaves me, and it always stays with me. So it has become a part of me in that way. Yes, hail Tyr indeed. I knew you'd get that. I knew you'd like that, Alfred. Which I'm sure you've seen the video before. But here's my dedication to Tyr, which is nothing spectacular, but it is this, right? So as you can tell, and the handle is burned, the Tiawa's rune, or Tyr rune, Tiw rune, right? Just bowing up there. But this is a knife that nobody will ever. You'll never be able to buy a knife like this. You might find knives that look like this that are similar, depending on who you know. But this is not. So I've used this for ritual purposes. So it's a ritual knife, but it is a blade dedicated to Tyr. And it was gifted to me from my aunt's brother. And it is hair splitting sharp. I've honed the edge on it to be as sharp as it was, but when I received it and when I got it, it was already quite sharp. But I don't know if the camera here will do it justice or not. Probably not. You see the thickness of it all? Like, you see how broad it is? It runs through the entire handle, and it's made from the leaf spring of an army Jeep. I don't know exactly how late the Jeep dates back to, but the blade is made from an army Jeep, and this knife was created by natives in Cambodia, because my aunt's brother was a Marine and he was over there training or something like that, and they would trade certain things, and locals made this as a tool to use for various things, also for self-defense, because Cambodia is pretty wild. But it was mostly used for, you know, shucking down brush or for splitting coconuts, which is why the blade is so concave on the front, right? It's so heavy on the front, it's so thick on the front, is to be able to crack a skull or crack open a coconut. So that is my dedication to Tyr specifically, and has been used in my for ritual purposes. Tyr is a war god, and it does make sense. When you say "please don't tell you" it's sacrificial, it has been used for ritual, right? You know, so I've used it to cut up things, or used it for ritual purposes, right? Whether it be separate meat from the bone, or cut vegetables, or do things for ritual purpose. That is what it is for. I don't take it out into the woods and you know, carve my name into a tree for the fun of it. It has a purpose, and its purpose is for ritual. And it is a dedication to Tyr. I've talked to you guys a bit on some things with that, you know, that accentuate my altar space. I'm not going to bore you with all of the details, but that's one of my really neat things. Another one of my things that I'm prided on is I got two ritual hammers, but this is my first ritual hammer, which is just basically an actual sledge hammer, right? But the reason why it's so special is because this hammer was used by my father for actual like work. You know, like he had it in his toolboxes and in his garage or shed or whatever, and it's been used for actual work. So now, because of the cracks along the handle, I didn't want to take the handle away. I wanted to basically preserve it. So I cleaned up. It was rusted beyond recognition. So I cleaned it up as best I could and got it to, you know, some level of cleanliness and whatever, and then sealed it, but also put runes on it. So this is my ritual hammer. And you know, I tried to burn. It's pretty crude because I was very new at the time, but I burned, you know, the Elder Futhark runes for Mjolnir into it. It's red on that handle, and it's red for a reason. I'll give you a guess why. And then the runes are that I've put into it are Thurisaz, Tiawaz, Onsus, and Agalas. So this is my ritual hammer from my father's tool shed, and I realized that, you know, the work that was done with hammers like this, and he's had this hammer before I got it for God's know how long. You know, I think it might have been his grandfather's hammer that he just kind of inherited. So that is that. The other hammer that I have, the other ritual hammer that I have, is used for. So that's like a personal ritual hammer, you know, so to speak. But then I have this one for sort of like group-based events where I have other people around, and I burned Thorisas into the handle. But this is another antique hammer that I acquired from an antique store in New York. So I've used this to open ritual for Yule. Greg was here before, and Greg was a part of that, and that hammer was used to hallow the sacred space for Yule bloat. Yola bloat, as it is called. Sorry. So let me catch up to the comments because I see got some questions to answer. One-eyed heathen there, Alfred. I'm checking yours out right now. Says humbly asked to do a show specifically about Tyr, and he was likely supplanted by Odin, chief of the gods of the Aesir. I think he just doesn't get enough credit. Okay, I will definitely keep it in mind. I did do, and this is a while ago. I might redo another one or revisit it, but I did do a video about Tyr in my deity discussion series, which is kind of an ongoing thing here on the channel. The most recent one that I did was on Vidar, and for a while I was dormant with it. So I want to do like monthly or a bit more regular discussions on the various gods and goddesses of the Norse pantheon, and Tyr was one of the first ones that I did. But I agree, like he, you know, some of the historical things that suggest that Odin took that place in Germanic tribes, whereas Tyr, two various names, Zeu is another name that he's, you know, connected with. Lot of history. He was very highly. He had a very high exalted status among early Germanic tribes, so I'm not opposed to doing that or looking into doing that video about him either. Simple but does the job. A workman's hammer. Thor is the god of the workman, so it makes sense. Exactly. That's why I wanted it when I saw it, and it, like, let's say it called to me, it spoke to me when I saw it. I was like, hey, Dad, you're not going to use this for anything anymore? May I have it? Right? Because I mean, the handle was cracked. Like if you take one good crack at something or a few good cracks at something, the handle would break. The head would, of course, be intact, but the actual handle itself would probably suffer some serious damage. I said, hey, would you mind if I took it? And he said, sure, go ahead. So that being the association to actual work, and Thor being like the everyman's god, the working man's god, that sort of thing, I thought that it was appropriate as well. Atlantic knife for cutting spiritually, another form of a wand. Sacrificial knife. Cool. 75% of Thor done. Well, dang, Matt, working hard at it. That's crazy. I saw the progress of when it started earlier, when you were, a few hours ago, and keeping busy. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. Um, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Wyatt's asking, how do you use a hammer in ritual? And imagine that you would let Thor enter your spirituality with it, right? So, I mean, I think there's a lot of people out there that will use it to hallow space. You know what I mean? So, a very modern but widely accepted method of hallowing space is to use the hammer. You can, hold it above the areas that you are going to be setting apart as being sacred. You know, again, this is gonna the answers that I'm giving are gonna, I might get some audience that looks at this at some point, or anybody here who's leaning more towards a historically reconstructionist heathen view and be like, dude, what are you talking about? That's totally not how you do it. That's totally how sacred space is defined and separated. I'm just, in an effort to answer the question, using the hammer to hallow space can be done by simply raising the hammer. Some will even make a sign of the hammer, which would be like if I were to, hold the hammer up here, go down left to right, so that way it looks kind of like you know, kind of like it would like this. So you start from here, go down left to right, looks like that. Some would say that that's where, the Christians, or the Catholics rather, got the making the sign of the cross, or that the making the sign of the cross when the conversion period of Scandinavia was hitting. The Christians were doing that, and then in order to sort of mask their beliefs, the pagans at the time would be like, well, we're just making the sign of the cross, whereas they were doing the sign of the hammer. I don't know for sure if that's accurate, but so you can do that. You can, raise your hammer and call on Thor to hallow and hold this stead, or this holy stead. There's certain things. There's certain, like I don't say prayers or ritual things that you can say. So you'll see some stuff online. You hear some people that'll hit different points, different polar points. So the north, they will hallow and hold this holy stead, hail mighty Thor. Then go to the north, to the west, mighty Thor, hallow and hold this holy stead, and then just hit the polar points, north, south, east, and west, and then that is your sacred space. I do things a little bit differently when it comes to that, as far as like how I define sacred space, or how sacred space is defined, especially outside of my my home, where I go when I if I do ritual or any sort of spiritual work outside of the home. My sacred space is defined and kept to be what it is and where it is, but it can move, right? It can be relocated. It can be, and then you will set up your holy space or your sacred space there for your own spiritual practices. But I hope that answered your question, Wyatt, as far as how to use the hammer, or what you would do. Here's some ideas, things you can incorporate. Figured out that Arith Harger is a pagan. Yeah, he is. Arith Harger is a pagan, and I love his channel. I haven't watched a lot of his more recent videos. I used to binge watch a lot of his stuff when I had more time, and now it's like I'm busy working and putting content out, and I don't get as much time to just sit back and watch a lot of content. I'm usually the one, but Arith Harger is one of the channels that I absolutely have fallen in love with and enjoy what he does, especially because it's so educational, and he takes it, he is a pagan, and but he's also takes things and follows a very academic or historically accurate approach. So he's, archaeology and all the various things that he's been into from an academic standpoint just add to the pagan practices of things. So I think that's really awesome, and I love it. sign of your fist for the hammer. Yeah, sure. You know what I mean? Like a lot of folks will do that too. You know, without a hammer, without the actual item, to just make that symbol, to make that gesture, as it were. I mean, I've always got Mjolnir with me. You know what I mean? Like it's always been there. So he's been there even before I was pagan, before I knew I was pagan, I should say. Thanks for listening to this the whole time, John, and commenting and checking in. Really appreciate the dedication for sticking around here for the last however long. I've been sitting here now for 2.5 hours streaming, talking about different things. It's been a lot of fun. We did our Norse mythology trivia, gave away some really cool prizes, read some stories from the enjoying some of my list. That's going to be, man, you could say that's the last bit, but I'm gonna savor it. I've been savoring it. Don't want it to go away. I don't want to wait for my scotch to be over, gone, or whatever. Never mind. Forget that. Cut that from the reel. Cut that from the reel. Well, this is live. You can't cut it, but anyway. Yeah. Another thing that Wyatt's asking is again, sorry for the leaving out of frame, but just to read the another thing that you're curious about is, what do you mean when you say blowing smoke into mirrors? Is that another form of spell casting? If so, start trying it with a candle smoke. Blowing smoke into mirrors. I don't think I've ever mentioned that in terms of doing anything like that. I know, I believe I know the term like smoke and mirrors, right? Like being fake and putting up a facade, right? Not to blow smoke up somebody's skirt or smoke and mirrors are like, illusionary sort of things. So if that's what you're referring to, if that's what you mean, I don't think it falls into the same context of what you're talking about. I've never heard of literally blowing smoke into a mirror. So if anybody else has, and if that's a thing, maybe I could be educated about it, but I don't quite follow that as it being a thing. Thank you for sticking around, Neil, too, who says thanks for the live show. Well, thanks for being a part of the audience. You are the real MVPs. Everybody who's here joining me in the live stream, right, guys? Because otherwise I'd just be talking about something to nothing. If you guys are so inclined and you want to help support the channel, you can do so through Super Chat. You can do so through the PayPal link that I just posted. And then in the description of the videos, all of my videos, you've got Linktree, which has Teespring for merchandise. I do rune sets. I can do Patreon as well. It's all in the Linktree, so check it out if you so choose. Couple of times in one of the other live streams, smoking. I think Wyatt, you may be talking about the term smoke and mirrors. I'm not saying blowing smoke into mirrors. I'm saying blowing smoke, or the term smoke and mirrors, being some sort of illusion or facade, right? I'm not trying to be fake. I'm not. There's no smoke and mirrors here. This is me. This is real. This is as real as it gets. In fact, it's like I don't come on here and try to, give any sort of false sense of reality or false sense of who I am doing what I do. I just am who I am and do what I do. So I think, hopefully, that will answer what you're talking about. If I said something and you are remembering something else, you seem to be pretty bright and follow a lot more. I may have forgotten something, but I'm not recalling anything else other than what I just expressed. So blowing smoke out of your ass. That is a phrase. That is also a phrase. Hope to come back for many more broadcasts. I hope you all come back. You know what I mean, guys? Having these regular things once a week It's fun, and get to learn things, and we get to learn stuff together and have a good time. So I'm glad. I know Alfred's been One-Eyed Heathen here. You know, you've been following what I do for quite a while, as I recall. You're probably one of the first ones that was on this channel when it first started. So to see that you're still here and in the live stream and part of the giveaways and doing the trivia thing, like, that's really cool. That's really, really cool. And I appreciate it. So Wyatt says that I said in these exact words when talking about Jackson Crawford one time, he could be blowing smoke into mirrors for all we know. Huh. I'm not going to say I didn't say that, but I'm going to say that I don't remember saying that about Jackson Crawford. Blowing smoke into mirrors. Blowing smoke into mirrors. Was it on a live stream or was it on a regular, like, video that I put out here? Because I've been talking about him specifically more regular than I have usually, because the version of the Havamal that I'm reading from during the daily, or not daily, but during the random Havamal stanza readings are from his translation of the Havamal, and it's in the Wanderer's Havamal that he put out. So maybe I said something about that in one of the recent videos, which I could go back and watch and see, and then give a response to you in some sort of way. That might be what you're referring to. It was a live stream. Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. These live streams run really long, right? They're several hours usually, and I'm gonna tell you just right off the bat, nothing is coming to mind about blowing smoke into mirrors. Blowing smoke in mirrors is a term of, you know, just illusionary effect. Things that aren't real, but that have an illusion of being real. False sense of reality. I honestly just don't recall anything about blowing smoke into mirrors. And I quite honestly don't think I'll be able to go back through all of my live streams over the last, few weeks or longer and look through hours and hours of content to try and find that. So I apologize. Have a good night, Matt. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thank you for your contributions to the giveaway, by the way, to the winner or the second place holder of the trivia game. So that was really awesome, and it's much appreciated. Yeah, right. Alfred, you've been here for at least a year. Try and find it for you and give you a timestamp. Yeah, Wyatt, feel free. Like I said, I'm not definitely not stopping you, and I hate that I can't put my finger on what it is that you are referring to, because I definitely want to shed some light or answer anything that you guys may have questions about. So unfortunately, it's just not ringing a bell. So whatever other insight you can provide and want to provide is certainly up to you, and appreciate it. Well, this is it, guys. I'm gonna have to finish this. I don't think I can nurse this much longer. That's all she wrote. Good night, sweet prince. Till we meet again. I'm gonna keep this as a memento. I'm weird like that. People are like, well, you can just buy another bottle. Well, can I? Will I? Do I? I don't know. Plus, I just want to, like, if I want to get nostalgic, and like if I can't find it or if it takes me a while, I just want to be like, love that sound, by the way. I want to go and get some of that Islay sweetness going on in my nostrils, in my nostradamuses. Then I can do so. So I'm gonna hold on to this bottle and hope for the best. Maybe I find another bottle of this and won't have to keep it. But until then, just gonna sit right up there on my shelf, along with the very first bottle of Highland Park that I've ever got, which was a gift for my birthday, I want to say, last year. And I haven't bought another bottle of Highland Park since. Well, take that back. I have bought a bottle of Highland Park recently in the last month. Was not for me, although I did get to drink some of it. It was a gift to somebody else, and they were generous and kind enough to share with me and some other folks. So the Highland Park 12-year Viking Honor. If you are thinking about getting into the Scotch realms of whiskey and you're wanting to get your feet wet and dabble a little bit into it, for 50, 60 bucks, it is a delicious and really good quality single malt Scotch. And it's a good place to start when it comes to just getting your feet wet. In case I don't like it, hey, you can find somebody who will, and you'll only be out about 50 bucks. But it is a good 50 or 60, depending on where you are. But it is a good, coaxing yourself into that realm of whiskeys. If you're interested, I think Alfred, you might have talked about it earlier. It's worth checking out. Highland Park Viking Honor 12-year. I see you, Wyatt. You need more Scotch. I do need more Scotch. Scotch needs more me. Let's just call it like it is. That doesn't make sense, but oh well. Nostalgia is a crazy thing, right? How many memories that you can pull from and things that just come rushing back from the nostalgia of things. I'm going to add a little bit of water to my glass because although I am out of Scotch, I am not out of whiskey. But I need to kind of cleanse this receptacle from the single malts to what I'm going to be pouring in there next. So that is what it is. All right, Alfred, One-Eye Heathen. Congratulations again on winning the second prize for the trivia tonight. Thank you for joining. Thank you for your ongoing support. If you need anything from Matt or whatever, you know how to get a hold of him. Keep in touch. Otherwise, hope to see you on the next live stream. So thanks for tuning in. Staying for the might do this. You staying for the duration? Maybe I misunderstood. I just saw the exchange there. Let me catch up and see what's going on. Oh, Unknown Survivor said must run now. So Unknown Survivor, yes, I bid you adieu over there in Australia land. Stay safe. Don't let the kangaroos have their way with you, or whatever Men at Work said in that one song. Anyway, take it easy. Thanks for joining. So One-Eyed Heathen says, exchange night tomorrow. Have an excellent night and tomorrow. Yes, for sure. Oh, I mean, I'm not in any kind of rush to wrap up. I got nothing else better to do except finish my I don't really have anything to finish. I have some more of this, which is not Scotch, but it's peanut butter whiskey. You guys familiar with this? I tried it during the last live stream, and that's where we got. I think I've had a little bit since then, but we got about there. So we're just gonna have a little bit of it, just to keep the vibes flowing, Let the good times roll. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think it'd be a really good mixer. Like if you had the right things to add to it. I was when I got this, I wouldn't call it an impulse buy, but like I was going to get more Scotch, and the lady was there. She's like, "Well, we only have a certain number of bottles of these left, and it's only X amount of dollars." And I was like, "Well, hell, why not? Right? While we're here." But she said that people like to add it to cranberry juice or grapefruit juice even. And she said it's like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich flavor. Like it gives you like a peanut butter and jelly kind of thing going on. I don't know. I haven't tried it. It tastes like peanuts. Yes, it does, John. So I mean, it's peanut butter. You know what I mean? Um, point in fact, on the warning label, in case you are allergic, it does. I don't know if it's gonna. There. See, contains peanuts. Be careful. So yeah, it contains peanuts and it has a peanutty flavor. It reminds me of like what you get when you first open like a Reese's or something, or a Payday or whatever. Like you get that richness, kind of almost chocolatey, peanutty aroma going. So yeah, tastes like a Reese's. It's kind of chocolatey in that sense. So it's not like a straight peanut or peanut butter. It's got that flavor going on, but it reminds me of a Reese's. So I can see where like if you had like a fruit juice mixer to it, that you're gonna, whether it be maybe, I don't know, maybe grape juice even. People like grape jelly. That you would get this like peanut butter and jelly flavor profile thing going on. If you don't like peanuts and if you don't like Reese's, it would be awful. I'll put it that way. And let me tell you, it ain't my first go-to thing. But I was like, hey, why not? You know, live a little, right? Living on the edge. Remember that Aerosmith song? Something wrong with the world today. I don't know what it is. It ain't Screwball whiskey unless you're allergic to peanuts or you don't like it. That could be what's wrong with the world today. But I don't know. For me, it's not my first pick, but it's definitely not my last either. I'll go for it. I'll tell you what. I'll go for that before I go for Jaeger or rum. Not a big fan of rum, except for Major Lasers. So it's a Bacardi. Major Laser makes, or Bacardi makes one called Major Laser. It's kind of like a limited edition, limited label. Did I tell you guys? Did I tell you the story about Major Laser rum and what I used to call it very recently? When I say used to, I mean like within the last couple of months. Did I tell you that story? Because if I did, I don't want to bore you with it again. But if I didn't, I will share it with you because it's gotten a few good laughs from people. Does that whiskey also kind of random? Looking at Wyatt's thing, says kind of random, but Norse magic is crazy. Who'd have thunk it, right? I agree. Works much better in all forms when I've practiced, and it's so bizarre, and I've seen weirder things than anything that you could ever describe in trance state. Yeah. Agreed. Cinnamon whiskey. Now, are you talking about like Fireball? Are you talking about like Jack Daniel's Fire? Are you talking about something better than the two of those things? Because I can't drink straight Fireball. It's way too sweet for me. This is pretty sweet, but in small quantities, I'm okay with it. I don't know. That Fireball just makes my skin crawl. Something wrong with our eyes. Okay, so Wyatt heard the Major Laser story. Fireball. I guess it does if you like the cinnamon flavor. I mean, you gotta like what you like, right? You do you. If you like peanuts, if you like cinnamon, if you like licorice, if you like, I mean, Alfred, you love Jaeger. My wife loves Jaeger. She could and has just drank it straight on ice or whatever, right? Just like chilled Jaeger, like not mixed into anything. And I'm just like, ugh. Like I'll do one, but I'll do a shot or whatever of it, but I have to already have been pretty well toasted before I resort to that. She'll just be like, let's kick it off tonight and pour the Jaeger. And I'm like, no, right? Not for me. You can just let's see, if you can judge wise man at the color of his skin, then Mr. You're a better man than I. What is that from? That sounds familiar. Majar Lazar. Yeah, Mahar Lazar. Yeah. You already know the deal, Wyatt. You heard it. I thought I did talk about it on the live stream. But for those that didn't hear about it, so Major Lazer, right? You can just Google Bacardi Major Lazer, you'll see it. Friends of ours were over. My wife had some on our refrigerator. She had a bottle of it sitting up there. And like I said, I don't drink rum, and it's not the thing that I usually go to when it comes to my alcohol. But we had it, and I liked it, and I didn't know that it was called Major Lazer. I just thought it was some Cuban specialty rum. So I'm telling everybody, and there was like 5-6 people over, and I'm like, guys, have you heard about this? And they're like, this what? I'm like, it's Bacardi, right? But it's a specialty Bacardi, and it's called Mejor Lazer. And everybody stopped, and I'm holding the bottle. I'm like, it's Mejor Lazer, and they're like, you mean Major Lazer, dude? That's like a DJ or something. And I all start cracking up laughing because I tried to add a bit of je ne sais quoi. I tried to add some of that, Spanish flair to something, thinking that it was special. I'm like, nope, it's just the name of a DJ, and it's his label or whatever. And totally made myself look like a dingbat, but it got a few good laughs, and Wyatt remembers. So yes, everyone has their own drink that they like, for sure, right? This stuff right here that is now gone, and I'm sad about it, definitely not everyone's cup of tea. If I were to pour this for somebody who's never had an Islay Scotch or been involved, tried any of that, they would be hard pressed to even consume it, because it would be so overpowering. It would be like, that is awful. Why do you like that? And yet I love it, and it's like I would rather have that than anything else in my cup. So, well, maybe not anything else, but when it comes to like hard liquor, like that's, if I had a choice, like that would be it. Any Jack Daniels is terrible. I will say that the Jack Daniels Honey and the Jack Daniels Fire I like it. Now, there was also a Jack Daniels Cider. I don't know if they still make it. That had this like apple cider kind of thing going on. It's really good in like the wintertime. That I like. But like as far as like the old number 7 sour mash, yeah. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm definitely not just going into the store and be like, yeah, let me get a 5th of Jack. Not my thing. Not my thing. Yeah, Jaeger, you're a beast. It's made of, don't even need ice to drink it straight. Yeah, hardcore, dude. Hardcore. Remind me of this is Kerry King, right, from Slayer. They're big sponsors of Slayer. Jägermeister is, I think, or was. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, I was. Yeah, you're right. Something wrong with. Yeah, I'm catching up with you now. Wyatt Coverdale is not an alcoholic, obviously, but you are a caffeine junkie, and you can drink C's worth of pop. It's pop, not soda. Darn it, Wyatt! You're letting the Midwest touch your soul a little bit up there in Buffalo, New York. The only place I've ever heard sugary carbonated beverages called pop is in the Midwest, and I mean places like Ohio, Michigan, Wisconsin, places like that, Illinois. So you've got a bit of that influence, I think, coming over across the lakes a little bit. I'll tell you what a really weird thing is. When I first moved to Tennessee, everybody called those beverages Cokes. I'm like, it's soda. Well, what do you want to drink? Oh, I'll have a Coke. Okay, what kind? Coca-Cola, Coke, a Coca-Cola. But down here in the South, a Coke could be a Sprite, could be a Mountain Dew, could be a Coca-Cola, Dr. Pepper, could be anything like along those lines is a Coke. Or, and Alfred, you're at least in this part of the South, cold drink. Cold drink. Let me get a cold drink. Like the sucker wouldn't even be on ice or in the refrigerator, and it's in a can or a bottle. Like, let me get a cold drink. It ain't, the dang thing ain't even cold, man. Like, how do you call a cold drink cold when it's not physically cold, when it isn't like in your hand and is in lower degree temperature than what the environment around you is or whatever? How do you call it that? But they do. But no, where I'm from, my part of New York, it's soda. A Coke is Coca-Cola. If I want a Sprite, I'm going to say Sprite. Give me soda. What do you want? Oh, give me Sprite. It's a generic term. Crave whiskey, but don't have any. Accidentally left a bottle at a friend's house. Uh-oh. Well, I'm the type of friend that unless I know you really well, if you accidentally leave a bottle of anything, that bottle is now reclaimed. And you just, relinquished your possession of that bottle of said thing by leaving it in my residence, because it's not safe and it will not last for you to come back and get it unless I know you well enough and I'm like, hey, you know what, I'm not gonna do you like that. I'll hold on to it and you can come back and get it. I mean, if they sponsor Slayer, Alfred, I may be speaking out of line. I don't know for sure, but I know like a lot of the branding of and stuff with Jägermeister has been like they're huge across a lot of the extreme music stuff. But I know Slayer specifically because Kerry King loves it, and he's so again, I don't know if they sponsor Slayer or not, but they're definitely synonymous together. Like if you see one, you'll see the other. Michigan. Soda pop. Well, yeah, soda pop. Soda, not pop. Thank you, Alfred. Thank you for agreeing. Even though it's like, so there's that debate, and then there's the whole pizza debate, right? Me being from New York, other people from like Chicago, the Midwest, and you got that whole like deep dish thing. That ain't pizza. That ain't pizza. That's a casserole. That deep dish Chicago style thing, because, and I've heard at least that like even people like native Chicagoans and native Illinoisans or whatever they're called, no disrespect for anybody who's watching, I don't know what the official term is, but even they say like, no, that whole deep dish thing is just for tourists. Like bar pizza, thin style pizza is the way to go, which I always fall back on like, hey, if you're from Chicago, if you're from Illinois and you're trying to debate with me about pizza, that New York pizza is not real pizza, it's the Chicago style deep dish pizza, I always revert back to watch Home Alone. Kevin McAllister and his family ordered pizza. What kind of pizza was delivered? What kind of pizza did they order? It was thin crust pizza. It wasn't that deep dish bologna. It was thin crust pizza. So you're telling me that if McAllister and Home Alone from back then ordered thin crust type style pizza in Chicago, then that's legitimate. That's legit. That's okay. None of this deep dish stuff. Get out of here with that. It's a casserole. I rest my case. I'm not going to get into it. But if you like it, that's fine. But it ain't pizza. Like you can like it. I'm sure I would like it too. If I went to Giordari's or whatever his name is up there, the big place that everybody talks about in Chicago, and I go up there and I try the deep dish thing, I'm sure it's delicious. I'm sure it's great, but it ain't pizza. So that's all I got to say about that. You're born in Erie, Pennsylvania. Well, that's close enough, right? You're right on that side of the world, that side of things. Yeah. Deep dish pizza, no. We can at least agree on that. How dare you? Thin crust is the gold standard for all pizzas. My man. And now, let me tell you this. Pizza, just because it's thin doesn't mean that it's the best, or just because it's thin doesn't mean it's great. You got different styles. You got your New York style. You got your, New Haven style. You got your Philadelphia style. You got your, Neapolitans. You got your, some people like it a little floppy. Some people like it a little well done. I personally like a nice well done pizza. I like to hold my pizza and have a nice shelf. I like it to support itself. I like it to be, um, I like pizza with integrity. I don't want pizza that, when I pick it up, it's like it just flops over on me like that. Don't like that. Don't I'll eat it, but I'm not like raving about it. Pizza's got to have a nice crisp, the undercarriage, right? That there's got to be some char. There's got to be some of that nice little underneath of it. Sauce got to have a little bit of tang to it. Not too saucy, not too cheesy. Good seasoning. Just a well-rounded thing. I personally like that the kind of pizzas in like a brick oven or a coal-fired oven where they get that nice like smokiness to it. But you can't get that everywhere. Can't get that everywhere. Some places you go, they claim that they do it that way, and then you go there and you're like, "No, you're falling short of the mark, bro. Like it's not making it for me. You're not hitting that mark." Especially in the South, right? Because that's the big thing. Everybody wants to be New York style pizza, and you go to places and they claim to be a certain thing, and you walk in and it's not that thing. And you're like, why are you? Like, you get your name right. This is. I want to be a New York style pizza. This ain't New York style pizza. I hope to be New York style pizza when my nuts drop and I grow up one day, but it ain't that. At least not at that point. New York's coming that way. When I get passionate about that stuff, right? When I get passionate about it, it's and it's getting late. It's getting late, right? For me, it's getting close to midnight. 14 minutes to the top of the hour. Probably gonna wrap it up around that time anyway. The live stream's been going for 3 hours and 7 minutes, so I like to round things off to a nice, top of the hour, top of the live stream thing or whatever. So we'll probably call it quits around midnight my time. I know it's already past that where Alfred and Wyatt and stuff are, where everybody else is. We're holding strong at about 4 or 5 live viewers. So apparently the interest to listen to this crazy heathen talk about New York style pizza and the debate between that and the Chicago style pizza and soda and pop and this and that. Apparently it's creating some sort of we're retaining some people because of it. So that's cool. Little buzzed, Michigan, Southern would come out. Yeah. That's the funny thing too, right? Is like the longer that I've lived in Tennessee, the more I just am like picking up on certain things. I've been in Tennessee now for it's 2020, and I moved down here in 2005. So 15 years, over 15 years, because I moved down here in the spring of 2005. So 15 and a half years that I've been in Tennessee. And it's funny because I don't, I'm from Long Island and that part of New York, being so close to the city or whatever, has a certain dialect. There's a certain twang. There's a certain thing to our accent or whatever. But over the years, I've tried to repress it. It's just if I get tired or if I get a little buzz or if I get excited about something, passionate about something, I'm gonna be like, hey, it's gonna come out. But it's so funny, like when I'm not feeling that way and when I'm trying to like repress it a little bit, people are like, oh, I can tell you're from Illinois. I've had people tell you're from Illinois. Your Southern accent's not too bad. I'm like, I'm not even from the South, dude. I'm not Illinois. Like, where does that come from? You saying I have a Midwestern accent? I don't know. I didn't think I had an accent at all when I'm not like feeling the way I'm feeling right now and going so strong the way I'm here on this live stream. But I'm like, oh, you want an accent? I'll give you an accent, You may not like it. You better say you like deep dish pizza, or else I'm gonna come getting poor. Hey, I didn't say I didn't like it. I just said it ain't pizza. It could be good, but it'd be like, you know what? This whiskey is delicious, but it would be like calling this whiskey wine. It's good, but it ain't what you call it, no matter how much you want it to be. That deep dish stuff ain't pizza. It might be good, and I probably would love it, but it ain't pizza, and I'm not going to call it pizza. I'll call it that just because that's what everybody refers. It's deep dish pizza. No, it's deep dish something. It's deep. It's a deep dish casserole. It ain't. It ain't pizza. But I digress. All right, pizzas with integrity. Yay. Personally, don't like pineapple on pizza. Oh man, here we go. Do I like it? So the whole pineapple on pizza thing. So here's the deal. Here's my take on it. Right? You can like what you like. I don't care. Like what you like. If you like the flavor of it, great. But to say that it shouldn't go on there, like you're going into the realm of some culinary debates, right? Because does it technically work? Yes, because sweet and savory, the marrying of those two flavor profiles works beautifully. I like to cook. I am by no means, chef standard or whatever like that, but I understand and can appreciate the blending of certain things. Like I used to get, or well, not say used to, but I have recently and in the past made hot sauces. Now, when you're working with like peppers that have a very intense flavor profile and that are very strong in their flavor and heat or whatever, you find certain things that work with the flavor profiles of those peppers. So just as an example, right? Habanero peppers tend to be a bit fruity in flavor and floral. They have some floral notes. So you can usually pair the pepper with other similar ingredients that are going to work. So like mangoes, pineapples, oranges, things like that. They're sweet, right? But they will pair well with that pepper. Other things like other savory ingredients that will work with it well or work well with it are like cilantro, some of the more savory herbs, oregano, basil, some of those more really like powerful and crisp, clean tasting herbs and things like that. So yes, does it work technically from a culinary standpoint? From a does pineapple and marinara sauce and oregano and all that stuff go together? Yeah, it technically works. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You know what I mean? So I have not turned down a slice of pizza that has pineapple on it and ham specifically because of the flavor profile, like that sweetness and the smokiness from the ham and the savoriness from the sauce. They all work so well together. It's like a flavor orgy, right? Like they just get in there and they just start making magic happen, and you can't help but sit back and appreciate it. But is it my first thing? Is it my go-to? No, I'm a simple man. I like simple things. I like a nice slice of cheese pizza. I like a good classic slice. Doesn't have to be nothing on it. I just like it plain. Talking about toppings, pepperoni, if I want to, some meatball, uh, some black olives, maybe mushrooms. I love mushrooms. I like to toss those on there as well. Put them in there with it. But hey, I'm a simple man and I like simple things. Plain slice of cheese pizza. Going back to Home Alone, right? Who is here? Who here has watched Home Alone? What did Kevin want? Did anybody order just plain cheese? Right? That's all the kid wanted, man. Just a plain cheese slice. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. To each their own, right, Neil? If you like pineapple on pizza, you need to end. Well, that's your opinion, and like, that's just your opinion, dude. It's, those who know. Yeah, well, like, that's just your opinion, man. The dude abides, right? You can't do just plain cheese. Well, let me tell you something, Alfred. If you can't do just plain cheese, then you, my friend, have not had the right slice of plain cheese, because that's all you need. Cheese is all you need. Plain slice of cheese. If you get the right slice, tell you what, if you ever make it out to my neck of the woods, my close to Nashville, I'll tell you, I'll meet you somewhere. I'll tell you where to go, whatever the case may be, and I will get you a legitimate slice of New York pizza. And put that on my hammer, man. Put it on my hammer. Legitimate New York slice here in Nashville, and you will change your mind about a plain cheese slice, unless it's like an allergy thing, or unless it's like, something that, I don't know. But if it's because like a flavor, I can't do just plain cheese. I have to have a topping on it, dude. Let me get you a legitimate slice of plain cheese and see where your mind goes from there. You'll probably go blast off into the stars, change your life forever. If it works out and we can make it happen, we'll do that. The dude abides. Yeah, awesome. Well, good. Wyatt gets it. Wyatt gets the reference. 4 minutes to the top of the hour. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, for everybody who's joined tonight, thank you so much. I appreciate the participation. We're going to wrap it up here in just a few minutes. We've talked about all kinds of stuff tonight, haven't we? Talked about Norse mythology, gotten into some really fun trivia type stuff. Alfred himself here got himself a nice prize from Odin's Beard Woodworking. We've got Dusty earlier, who totally crushed the trivia. He's got himself a nice rune set and a Mjolnir necklace coming out there to him this week. This week coming around, we've talked about altar pieces, remembering those who are worth our memory. Honoring, our loved ones, our departed loved ones, those whose songs should be sung to preserve their memories and to honor them always. We talked about pizza and that thing from Chicago that they want to call pizza, but it's just a deep dish casserole. We've talked about whiskeys and read some stories from the lore and just all over the place. We've been all over the map tonight, and I love it. That's what I love. I love being out here and just letting things kind of flow organically and enjoy each other's time, right? You do have a cheese allergy, but you eat pizza anyway. It's just that rad. So for those that do have those allergies or that are lactose intolerant, you kind of weigh out the goods and the bads, right? The pros or the cons. Is it worth me being down for the day in gut-wrenching pain and discomfort, or whatever the case may be, for that 5 or 10 minutes worth of flavorful bliss that you can't experience anywhere else? Is it worth it? Sometimes it is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes you just take one for the team and say, you know what? You only live once, and when I die someday, at least I can say I didn't wuss out, right? So yeah, definitely hope to see you on the next stream, Wyatt Coverdale. Glad you had all kinds of fun tonight, Alfred. I had all kinds of fun tonight, and I think a lot of people did as well. So Neil, thanks so much again for your time, man. Thanks everyone else for joining. Thanks for being here. Tomorrow I will hopefully have the next Havamal the next Havamal stanza discussion. We'll do a random stanza reading, try to have that video out sometime tomorrow. I may even shoot it later on tonight, because technically by the time I end this video, it is tomorrow for me. I know it's already tomorrow for everybody else here. I think everyone's on the Eastern time zone, so I am a minute away from the 8th, and you guys are already in the 8th. So speaking to you all into the future, you listening to me from the future, I may shoot that video tonight and have it up sometime tomorrow. So you never know. Keep your eyes peeled. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the description in all my videos. Follow the Linktree link. If you see anything there that interests you, click on it, follow it, see if it fits you in ways that you can support this channel. I appreciate everyone's patience and involvement too with the technical issues that we had earlier tonight, for those that were here, if you're still here. But yeah, so that's a wrap, folks. Share the videos, like the videos, comment on the videos, not just the live streams. Share the regular stuff too, right? Channel's growing every day. We get new subscribers, and that means more content's coming out, more quality content's coming out. So hopefully we see bigger and better things. Looking forward to really shedding some light on the next big project that I have coming up here, hopefully at the end of the month. Just waiting on those last minute specifics, logistics of things to get ironed out. So when that happens and when I know, you will know. All right, everybody. So Wyatt, Alfred, Neil, everybody who's out there I think we got John Watkins. Awesome. Great to see you. Anybody else that I haven't acknowledged yet that's still up there in the live stream that's not commenting, still watching, thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it. We wouldn't be here today if it weren't for each and every one of you. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. So all your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. Hail, stay safe out there, right? Stay safe and stay healthy. Drink water, wash your hands, wear a mask, all that fun stuff. And I'll see you guys in the next video, wherever that may be. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you around.